Good evening and welcome to the Good Faith Podcast, where we maneuver around toxic debauchery, attempting to find spiritual harmony with our fellow man and unpack rationalized caustic degeneracy. I'm your host, Ninja Bullet. We understand you could have been a million other places tonight, and that time is the most precious commodity any of us have. So from the bottom of my heart, we'd like to share our gratitude with each and every one of our viewers, listeners, and guests. Oh my God, this cat.
They even hear
Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Due to the sensitive nature of some of our discussion topics, we hope you will shield younger ears from some of the vulgarity and profanity that may be spewed here. It must additionally be noted that the views expressed by the panel are not necessarily the views held by the Good Faith Podcast, and we are not liable for any results incurred by the utilization of our advice, nor are we a fiduciary and assume no culpability of investment performance as a result of following our financial advice. Our simple aim is to entertain and inform. Anybody living in the Philadelphia area interested in making an appearance on our show can reach me in a DM on Facebook or Instagram at Christopher Bewley. That's also my Venmo if you're interested in making a campaign contribution to facilitate our meteoric rise to the top. As a candidate of the people, I solemnly swear I won't misappropriate the funds. I won't spend them at Myrtle Beach golf courses.
Ryan McMillan said, hey.
Hey, Ryan.
Okay.
I think he said, hey.
Oh, hey.
Connor
Hey.
McMillan said, hey.
AI.
Hi, Connor. Let me use this as an opportunity to queue up the next. Here we go. I'm not gonna spend the money at Myrtle Beach golf courses. I won't gas up a corporate jet to fly to Tulum. I won't fund arms dealers in the Middle East with Stinger missiles and Harrier jets. I won't buy stupid shit.
I'll open a savings account in your name. That way, 500 years later, it'll be worth billions. Billions. Oh, I like money.
In all seriousness, times are tough, and any proceeds we receive at the Good Faith Podcast will be going towards avoiding eviction, keeping the lights on, medicating Clark with all of his health concerns, and feeding our gracious guests. Once again, if you feel that you've been given value by us, it takes a little extra effort to like, subscribe, and leave a comment singing our praises. If you don't like and subscribe and you're not part of our audience, you're a hoe.
Ryan McMillan said, bring Punjabi back.
Bring Punjabi. All right, wait, we didn't even get there yet.
You were one of the ones complaining that he wasn't even couldn't even hear.
I think it was mostly.
It was mostly me, Peanut, and Jason. I guess. I
Connor
don't
McMillan
think Ryan.
I guess I'm a hoe then.
Yeah, you are a fucking house.
Ryan McMillan said, no, I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan was. The quickest path to relevance and notoriety will be for our listeners to spread the good word of the pod. If you have somebody in mind who would agree with our content, may be educated or informed, or even if you want to ridicule us, send a link to your friends and family. All publicity is good publicity. Our objective is to have balance between the red and the blue. So if you have somebody in mind who would enjoy listening, please spread our channel. If you're interested in joining our movement, we represent the hashtag IRYOBYAOAWMO movement. Chernie, what is that for short?
Iriu Biamo, I respect your opinion only because it aligns with my own.
It's okay to show love and tolerance to anybody with an aligned opinion. Feel free to disrespect anybody whose opinion doesn't mirror yours and to treat them with contempt and bratty toxicity. After all, respect is only earned by somebody with an identical belief system as your own. Hashtag IRYOBYOAWMO. What is that?
Iriu Biamo.
Iriu Biamo. This is one last reminder for our panelists to posture their bodies and direct their voices straight into the microphone. Our monetization depends directly upon the sound quality of our show. When our commenters chime in, it will come through as a highly complex AI voice named Punjabi. It's not true. I'm going to take this time to express my displeasure about how we whitewashed the AI chatbot. I mean, because xenophobes like Peanut were like, I can't understand it. It's too complicated. It's not. It needs to be a white woman.
It was literally the thickest accent you could ever hear. Like,
Buddy, I'm listening live from El Paso. I'm telling you, it's very
El
good, my
Paso?
friend. I don't know.
okay.
So yeah, we should take this time, or maybe sometime to come up with a name for the AI chatbot. What?
I thought does the name not come with it?
Well, I mean, it wasn't named Punjabi. I gave it that
Oh
name.
my god!
Like,
Why did you give it that?
it's, what should we name this cisgender white woman? What should her name be?
Stacy, Karen.
Stacey,
I don't know. What are you?
Karen. Like something like
Sarah.
No, not Sarah. Something unique.
Unique? I thought it was like something generic.
We should have a black AI.
Connor
woman.
McMillan said, Gladys.
Gladys. Ooh. all right. That's her name.
She doesn't
Gladys.
even sound like a Gladys. She sounds like a Sarah.
Hold up, I'm gonna add Gladys in there.
We should have chat vote on it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
But then we have to come up with like names for them to vote on.
If you guys are in solidarity,
Ryan McMillan said, how about Connor's mom?
What's Connor's mom's name?
Albertine. Albertine's a good one too.
What is Albertine?
Tina for short. Albertine is
Connor
her.
McMillan.
That's a
said,
name?
Okay.
Chernie doesn't approve of
I've
mom's
just
name.
never heard that name before. What?
It's Tina.
Okay.
She's commonly referred to as Tina.
Is Tina always been short for
Tina, get in here, you
Albertine?
big fat cow.
I thought Tina was just a name.
It's apparently short.
Or
Don't
Christina.
talk about my mama.
Like
All
Tina
right.
was short for Christina or something.
As we can see here, our AI chatbot is in full effect, working great. Everybody can understand it. You're all a bunch of fucking xenophobes. Our monetization depends directly upon the sound quality of our show. When our commenters chime in, it'll come through as a highly complex voice named Gladys. That's our placeholder name. If you guys in the chat have any better ideas, I like Gladys though. Not as good as Punjabi though. Punjabi was the fucking man. Please, even if you're in the middle of the most profound thought of your life, if El Gato or Whitey begins speaking, we ask that you sharply cut out any communications to enhance the seamless audible coherence of the show. A trick I heard from one of our incredible listeners, Bubsy, is to imagine a grapefruit between the microphone and your lips. You should never leave more space between the mic and your lips than a grapefruit, where the pod will be scuffed. And in the event that occurs, may death and dishonor beget your entire bloodline. And I have a sound bite that's appropriate for this. Let me know if you think this is like something that I should have in every show.
All you're going to do is make a nice hole in the middle of the grapefruit. Now, if you take it and make it too big, that's an
Russell
inch. And always
said,
squeeze your
glad
hands
I could
like
help.
the muscle of your vagina. And if you make it too tight, all you have to do is take your finger and push the flesh back. It's just grapefruit. Now, when you grapefruit your man, he has to be blindfolded. There's no ands, ifs, buts about it. Why? If you came to the bedroom with a grapefruit, what is your man going to say? What are you going to do with that? Is it going to burn and all that other thing? So you don't want any of that. So this is what you do. Say, baby, you know what? Tonight, I want to do something a little freakier. I want to suck your dick blindfolded. Your man will blindfold himself if he knows he's going to get some head. So now, your man is in the bed. You have the grapefruit already prepared under the bed. You smell the citrus in the air. He thinks you have on some Victoria's Secrets or something. He has no idea. And what you're going to do is get word of your word. Now, you have to get his face correct. So what you're going to do
Wait,
is
listen to this part. This is the best part.
Said,
Wait.
the grapefruit your man would be brought up.
Sounds like a vicious wolf.
What you're going to do is replace the grapefruit from your mouth. You're going to twist up and down in the shaft and suck the head at the same time.
What am I listening
You're
to?
listening to the throat goat.
Connor McMillan
It sounds like she's just slurping on the grapefruit.
Do we like that? Is that a permanent fixture for the show? I think so.
What? What's the fixture? Just playing that?
It's hilarious, and
So is she? I'm confused. Is she like putting the grapefruit on his dick? Like, what is he? What is happening?
Well, so what is happening in that video is she's demonstrating the grapefruit technique on a synthetic penis, and she cuts both sides off of a grapefruit,
Okay.
so it's like a cylinder, and then
wouldn't it be like a semi, like half a sphere?
no, like because she cuts them off both ends, so it's like a round cylinder, not perfectly round, but not spherical.
Okay.
Imagine taking a grapefruit and then like chopping off.
So like what you would do with an apple, like an apple core, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then cuts like a penis girth hole through the middle of the grapefruit, and then she slides that onto her man's pecker, and then she performs her miracle.
So she's putting the grapefruit on it? I'm excited.
I'll have to show you the video.
I have to see the video.
I kind of thought it was a little bit indecent to, put that video on our thing. But I'm glad that Bubsy is like a fucking. I'm glad Bubsy like knew that that's where I would
Ryan
go.
McMillan said, "Stop talking about getting off."
I like how the McMullins are just the entire chat right now.
Well, Russ is the one who told me about the grapefruit idea, not about putting it on a penis and filleting it, but about.
Ryan McMillan said, "Okay."
All right, let's take the time to introduce our guests. What's your name, occupation, age, highest level of education completed?
Hey, this is Chernie again. Same as before. I don't remember what I said. My age is 32. My occupation is account services rep at American Heritage Federal Credit Union. My highest level of education is a bachelor's degree in accounting / business administration.
Okay, and I am I'm Chris, or you can call me Ninja. My age is 33. My occupation is I'm a life skills coach, and my highest level of education completed is an associate's degree in liberal arts. What's your relationship status, Journey? I know we've discussed how we're domestic partners, and I mean, based on based on what's going on our Friday night, I feel like that's like pretty fitting.
Sure. I'm still single though.
Yeah, me too. What's your orientation? Are you hetero, homo, bi, tri, curious, ace, grace, trans, pans, auto, demi, sapio, omni, polyfluid, scolio, spec?
Still hetero and demi.
Okay, yeah, and I think I identify as the same. Should I bring up the sexual spectrum chart, or have we had enough of that?
What, like the 1 through
The-
5 or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
0
yeah.
through 5? I mean, you can if you want.
All right, so guys, sexuality is not binary. All right, that's very fucking bigoted for you to say something like that. What sexuality is it's on a spectrum, right? So,
Ryan McMillan said, "Is any of this stuff going to change for you guys week to week?"
yeah, you fucking dick. Yeah, like, all right, but are you?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about fantasy football.
Yeah, it's.
Well, are you gonna come back on the show and have something different?
Hey, I'm not gonna bash him too much. He's actually like he's provided valuable.
What? Why? He's bashing us.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I don't even have the sexuality spectrum
I
here,
scuffed already.
but I believe that
Ryan
sexual.
McMillan said, "I mean your relationship status and sexual orientation."
Oh,
Well, it could definitely
it can
change.
change.
I mean, like, if
my
like
sexual orientation isn't, but my status can change at some point.
I mean, I think that I'm like oriented fluently. Like, I think
What?
I think I'm pretty rigid in my heterosexuality. But if there was like a tall, dark, and handsome man or something like that, that swept me off my feet with a mystifying sunset.
How does that make you strong on your heterosexuality then?
I'm just kind of being a little bit facetious here. All right. So do you want to bring up spiritual beliefs, they could change too.
Connor
Like,
McMillan said, $20 is $20.
Spiritual beliefs definitely change from people to
Yeah.
people. I don't see mine really ever changing, but then again, people who do have their spiritual beliefs change probably think the same way.
Yeah, I would say that I'm a non-denominational Christian. I identify. I think my favorite denomination is the Baptists.
The Baptists.
The Baptists. I like
drowning my kids so that they can
What,
become baptized.
I mean, that's not drowning.
I know,
They
I'm
take,
being
a
facetious
little
too.
pinch of water and put it on the. And speaking of baptizing kids, right? You got a kid getting baptized soon, and you're gonna need a godfather. You're gonna come to me. You're gonna come to me, and you're gonna ask me to baptize your kid on the day of your kid's baptism. I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna make sure that I offer any kind of spiritual counsel that I can be asked to. All right, but there's gonna come a day when I'm gonna make you an offer that you can't refuse. All right, better fucking listen to me. All right, I'm the fucking godfather. Political affiliation, Chernie. Are you a Democrat, Republican, Independent, Democratic, Socialist, Libertarian, Green Party, Tea Party, Communist, Marxist,
Honestly, do we need to go through all of them instead of us just answering? Because we already know what we are. I'm Democratic Socialist.
Sure, I'm an anarchist or a libertarian.
He's more likely a libertarian.
Should we bring up
who doesn't want to vote?
Should we bring up that little pencil neck fedora wearing motherfucker that fucking?
I figured that's what this was gonna lead to. Do you want to bring it up, or do you want me to bring it up?
I mean, whatever. Let's talk about it. I suppose.
Well, he came to you first. I just drove up and saw you talking to him. So why don't you start?
So, I'm just minding my own business. This guy knocks on the door, rings the doorbell. I didn't come right away.
I'm gonna come.
I didn't come right away.
Well, that's good. You want to not come right away.
Where's? So, and he comes. It's the second doorbell ring. I put on a pair of sweatpants, meet the guy at the door, and I guess maybe because I'm not registered to vote or something. He's like, "Are you Vinny or Dan?" I'm like,
"Well, I'm registered to vote, so
yeah." I think that's probably what it is.
That's why you weren't mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, "Are you Vinny or are you Dan?" I'm like, neither. Motherfucker.
You did not say that. Stop.
Like,
what did you actually say?
I said I'm Chris.
I'm Chris.
One of those housewife robes.
Basically.
Yeah, I had my hair up in a towel. I was.
What hair?
And he's like, well, which one of those two do you agree with most? I was like, honestly, neither. I honestly have no clue what Vinny's political leanings are, and we don't agree really. So then basically you saved me because right as I was getting tired of him and
McMillan said, "Why Vinny ain't on the pod?"
I don't know. He said
Well, he's leaving anyway.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said he's not interested in it.
Fair. I'm not interested either.
But basically, right when fucking Needle Dick was about to leave,
jeez,
you pulled up, and I was like, "Oh, there's Dan. Go talk to him."
I saw you point, and he turned his head. I'm like, "What is this guy saying to me? This looks like some what's it called? The Jehovah Witnesses coming to the house trying to convert them to their religion. Like, what did Chris just do to be here?"
Hey, you heard about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? But I mean, basically, he got into a conversation about how the Republicans have restricted blacks' right to vote and stuff like that.
I didn't even hear that part.
He said it. He said it.
He said it. Well, that was before I got there, I'm assuming.
Then basically was just trying to persuade me to vote Democrat. Did you end up giving him the information that he wanted?
What information do you want? Like,
Yeah, he was
the
asking
only
me
thing
what-
he asked was like, "Am I voting who I'm voting for?" And like, what specific policies do I care about the most? And I was like, I kind of all of them. It's
you
not
know
like
what? I
one
think
more than the other specifically.
I think in the future, because it will happen again. Hopefully not much.
Wait,
more,
it's
but
gonna
I'm
say you're voting Democrat?
I'm just gonna say I'm voting for whoever that person.
Wow,
is
way
trying
to lie
get
to the survey.
You're gonna be like, who are you voting for? I'm gonna be like, who are you voting for? You're gonna be like, Democrats. I'm gonna be like, me too. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he kind of like didn't feel the need to convince me much since I said I was a Democrat.
They probably see like what was I? They see my like indifference or
Yeah.
like
They're
they
like,
see
"Oh,
that-
let me convince you.
Yeah.
You're probably uninformed," which they're right, but
So yeah, if you're new here, you ought to know that I am apolitical. I don't like the government. I don't like to vote, and I'm gonna try and convince all my viewers to follow me. And I'm sure Chernie will try and convince me to follow him, and we can see where that kind of
you know how many people hate the government? That's like every party.
But
And it's
they
definitely both Democrats and Republicans.
But they join the government. They
because
put
they
the government
hate
in
the other
power,
side
you
more
know,
than the other.
Like
You still need some form of governance.
I disagree. But
Well, that's for another pod.
sure. Or maybe even another part of this pod.
Yeah, maybe.
So I'm gonna get into our rules of engagement. Right. I'm sorry if this is redundant if you've heard it one too many times or whatever. But here are our rules. We got 5 core pillars of our podcast. Number 1 is respect. The Good Faith Podcast endeavors to harbor a culture of respect. Although some topics may be contentious in nature, it is of paramount importance that a general sense of good faith exists between panel members. It is perfectly acceptable to attack another's argument or opinion or mentality, but ad hominem attacks are strictly prohibited. An example of this prohibition would be Billy. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Not Billy, you're the dumbest person I've ever met.
Respect? I'll respect you for money.
I'll respect you only because you're opinion.
Yeah, I've already said that, but we also need to add that to it. Like,
What is that from?
from Rick and Morty, the alien people that are like,
Democrats have been far more sympatico for the last 16 years.
Facts. If you didn't understand that,
sympathetic.
Democrats have been far more government simpatico for the last 16 years.
How so?
I think that of the two parties, like the Republicans kind of just want to be left alone more and not be involved in all these social programs and cleaning up the horrors of the world, whereas liberals want to enrage you and get you involved in their fight for whatever the newest liberty.
Connor McMillan said, Republicans can't keep themselves out of everyone's business.
I see. This is kind of why I hate them both, because both people are right. Both people are right. They're both trash. They're both.
I know what your problem is. You do? You're just like me. Trash.
They're both trash. But that's just my honest opinion. Speaking of our second core tenet, honesty. Upon your arrival on this show, it's expected of you not to be deliberately obstinate. Due to the complex, free-form discussions that we embark on, a certain level of creativity, imagination, silliness, and lightheartedness is necessary. The above withstanding, you may be asked to step outside of your worldview or general life perspective and think of things from a hypothetical perception. And if asked to, a stubborn, I don't know, or deeply entrenched failure to conceive of alternative ideas is is harmful to the good spirit of healthy conversation and logic. We hope to avoid echo chambers where the room is parroting each other, which shouldn't happen here tonight. We also equally hope to avoid creating an intellectual Charlottesville where two opposing groups are venomously shouting across the table at each other without ever attempting to consider the other's position. Panel composition is deliberate, and to avoid piling on to one member, please just remember opinions are like assholes, and yours is as apt to be wrong as it is right.
How does that relate to an asshole?
Because opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, and they all stink.
Now you're saying that assholes are right and wrong. Like what?
By the way, I meant to play this one in honor of our dearly departed Bill Withers. I thought this was a funny
one. Skeets? Yeah, that part got me. Oh my god.
Trust. We trust that our guests on the panel will refrain from any hate speech, ill will towards celebrities, particular demographics, and any other general avoidance of anything that could be considered a violation of the terms of services of the platforms and publishers that we choose to post on. While it's in its infantile stages, the Good Faith Podcast is already video archived, so nudity is strictly prohibited, and in efforts to preserve our reputation, we request that the guests of the show avoid intolerant language, specifically to Italians. Don't call them guineas or grease balls or wops. The only wop that we want to use here is when we're talking about a wet-ass pussy. No religious persecution, no anti-Hinduism, no terroristic threats, no racism, no standing in solidarity with the lynch mob that killed Emmett Till or any of that nonsense. No ableism, and all jokes aside, I really do detest the use of the F word, the N word, and the R word. I mean, Chernie, you're not a very bigoted person, so I don't foresee you, doing any of that nonsense. But
let me just come out of the closet right now.
But these are also rules for the chat too. Chat, please don't use the N word. Please don't use the R word. Please don't use the F word. And all right, I'm gonna tell you.
They're gonna start typing it.
For fictional characters like Teletubbies, is that off limits?
Go for it. You can call the Teletubbies little fat fucks all you want. Like
they're not little; they're huge, actually.
So I was playing with Gladys. You know, I hear that often. I was playing with Gladys, and I
hear that ever.
I discovered.
I find that offensive.
So certain words are going to get flagged, like bitch, cunt, whore.
As you name all of them.
So if you want to sneak them in there, you're gonna have to get a little bit tricky.
Oh my
You
God.
might have to say,
why are you telling
cunt
them?
like you're in a Game of Thrones episode, or you might have to say like bitch, like B-I-S-H, like bitch. What's up, bitch? Or say hooer, like two different words, who and then If you really want to use like a slur.
Why are you telling them how to do it?
It's gotta be a tasteful slur. A tasteful slur. Once again, no N words, no R words, no F words. Okay, thank you for moving in a culture of respect. Oh, once in a blue moon, El Gato may even drop an N-bomb. But if you'll note, them are black. That's their word. Pillar 4 is consideration. Nobody wants to listen to a constant block of some drawn-out diatribe besides this one. So please consider the air of the room. We ask all our members on the show to contribute equally in their communications and to have a somewhat internal clock when speaking. Let's say 3 minutes. It hopefully won't be necessary to have a clock where we buzz contestants if they go over their allotted time like a presidential debate, but please conduct yourself with general good courtesy, like not interrupting people, and if the host reminds you of this, it's not to reprimand you for poor manners, but to maintain a structure. And it might sound a little bit like this.
Are you gonna buzz yourself? I feel like you've been doing all the talking.
Yeah, and after I get done with this, I'm gonna want you to go on a long rant. So I'm gonna.
I can't do that.
You may occasionally be ushered to a swift conclusion, and once again, Please accept it with grace and not get butthurt. And the fifth one is fun. The fifth and final rule is to have fun. We aim at the Good Faith Podcast to build a culture of fun and spirited debate in an attempt to reach across the aisle and perhaps educate and learn things from the many walks of life. Remember, only boring people get bored. If you happen to find yourself bored, offended, irked, kerfuffled, disgusted, bewildered, befuddled, bamboozled, confused, bothered, tired, triggered, enraged, enthralled, floored, or plain old flabbergasted by the flamboyant rigmarole, the P.O. box for our complaints and grievances department is 123 up your ass. Go fuck yourself. Seriously, we do endeavor to create a safe space for constructive feedback, and we will consider all complaints and grievances. Finally, a philosophy of curiosity is welcome. Instead of criticizing a viewpoint you don't understand, please seek to understand it. All right, so I'm done with that bullshit. Would you... I think we're going to skip the male delusion calculator.
We've both done it multiple times.
But let's talk about, Chernie, do you believe in the law of attraction?
I forgot what this is about.
So the law of attraction is that you can kind of manifest things that you want.
In a way, kind of. Not like you can just create whatever you want, but the attitude that you have can, like, it's kind of like karma in a way. I don't believe in like karma being some outside force or anything. I believe people doing good things will in turn usually have good things brought on to them. And if you're doing bad things, people are going to want to get back at you and do bad things to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of your attitude, like in the way law of attraction would make you want, like you would get things you want by going after things you want, mm-hmm. and you would not get them by not doing anything.
Yeah. I kind of believe it. Like I don't think that we can like wave a magic wand and make things materialize out of thin air, but I do think that if you visualize something hard enough and you start from the destination and figure out what the path is to your dreams and goals, like it makes it easier to realize them.
So basically it's not just about like thinking about it and having the attitude. It's about actually pursuing it and like having those goals that you're setting out to do what you want to do.
Yeah. And I think there are strong methods and techniques for realizing and attracting, the results that you want in this universe. And I think it can be done. And I think there are like experts like Bob Proctor, who, if you've never seen him, I gotta show him to you. He's like the fucking goat. He's passed away right now. R.I.P. Bob Proctor. But yeah, but you should definitely check out Bob Proctor.
So what did he do?
He just started he's like from Montreal. He was like mopping floors in like office buildings when he was, 21 years old. And I think he actually like overworked himself. He like passed out in like a puddle of his own mop slop. And
what a visual.
And I think some rich, powerful businessman in that office like found him there and basically was like, "Yo, like I'll give you all the keys to to this game if you just like
game."
Well, like this law of attraction. Like I'll show you all the keys to this, if you want. And basically within like 1 year, he like 10x'd his income, and then he started like a self-help seminar school where he like taught other people how to harness the law of attraction.
Nice. So was he the one who like came up with the idea of law of attraction?
No, I don't. I think this was.
Or he got it from the rich person. Like,
I think, like, have you ever heard of the book The Secret? I have it over
No.
there. I'll
I don't read.
Yeah, I have never read it either. I mean, it's sold like millions of copies. Like, I mean, it might be worth like looking into. I'm interested in it, but I think The Secret was the pioneer of this like concept.
Sorry, I only read manga. I need picture books.
All right, so can you rate your 4 pillars? And I made this more visually digestible, right?
Visual?
So there are four pillars: relational, physical, financial, and spiritual. I want you to rate them from 1 to 10. Relational. If you're a 1.
Say, How to Win Friends and Influence People by
Yeah.
Dale Carnegie is a universal guide for life.
That's literally the most recent book that I read, Ross. And now I'm reading How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. That's another. In this similar vein, I think that what is it? How to Win Friends and Influence People is a more tangible guide to that stuff, whereas The Secret and Bob Proctor is more like metaphysical.
Like how he says win friends.
So, all right. So relational on a scale of 1 to 10. Are you a 1? Are you like the Sandy Hook shooter? Are you a
what the
5?
heck? Jeez.
Are you like Vince Vaughn in Dodgeball? Kind of like just an average Joe. Or are you 10? Are you like Tony Robbins? Like you know millions of people. You are like friends with some of the most powerful people on earth. You know, like all of your relations with people is geared towards being like influential and friendly and loving and being helpful in all your relations.
Okay, well, I'm definitely not Tony Robbins, and I'm
So you're a Sandy Hook shooter. Is what you're
no,
saying.
but I'm definitely above Vince Vaughn in Dodgeball too. I'd say I'd like have more friends and relationships than he did. Although he had a girlfriend at the end, so I don't know.
She's a hot girlfriend too.
But this is also like a movie. Like that's not like.
Is she? Connor, I want you to weigh in. I feel like Connor would know this. Is she Ben Stiller's wife? That girl?
Is she?
I think she may be. All right, but what number would you say?
I don't know. What's 6 to 9 in that area? What are you comparing those to?
Well, I can't do like.
Say, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I did that one too.
I guess probably like a 6 or a 7.
6 or 7. Okay, just like a couple steps.
Yeah,
above,
I'm not
an average Joe.
Yeah, I'm like not super social. I'm more introverted.
So, physical. Are you a 1? Or are you just like fucking Stephen Hawking? Like this fucking physical vegetable.
Why does it gotta be Stephen Hawking?
Because he's physically like
He
as low
was
as
pretty
he can.
handsome before he was like impaired.
Well, when was that? Like I never knew him when he was anything more than a fucking.
He's dead now. You
I know,
because
but,
he's
like,
not even like.
I should not have irreverence for the dead, but
But have you ever seen the movie? What was it called?
into a wormhole or something.
No.
Facts. Connor, he's a little fucking straight bean motherfucker. Like he's fucking that's kind of ableist. I shouldn't be ableist. Are you a 1? Are you Stephen Hawking?
No.
Are you a 5, Michael Cera? Who you
I'm
said,
more attractive than Michael
You
Cera.
said that he's
I don't
like
know.
you said Michael Cera is nothing.
Scrawny,
Like,
yeah.
I think he's middle of the road. Like,
I think he's below middle of the road. But
or are you a 10? Are you Dwayne Johnson?
I'm definitely not Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I'll tell you that. I'd give myself like, well, what's in between Michael Cera and Dwayne Johnson? There's like a huge gap.
There's a huge gap between Stephen Hawking and Michael Cera.
Sure, probably.
So it's a very good scale.
I guess I'd put myself 8.
Okay, 8. Wow.
I think I'm
I'm happy.
apparently.
I'm physically an 8 because I'm titling this episode "Can Growth Occur?"
I also
within
think
your
there's a
comfort
much
zone
I think there's a much bigger gap between Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Michael Cera
than
versus Michael Cera and Stephen Hawking.
Hawking.
Yeah.
I mean, Stephen Hawking was like in a wheelchair. He couldn't even like move his body. Like all he could move with was his like 2 fingers. That's pretty much as physically low as one can be, right?
Are we talking about appearance or are we talking about your physical ability?
Physical well-being. Physical.
So like our physical health, our
yeah.
strength, like
Yeah.
oh well, yeah, I guess I'd be an 8 still.
Okay. But I mean, our theme of this show is can growth occur within
That's our
your
theme.
comfort zone? Because like I think it was last week, Peanut said he is physically an 8. And why we asked? He said, I'm happy. Like, what does that mean? That's like this is about.
Isn't that mental health though?
Sure, I get to understand it for relational. I think he said it for like all of his things. He said it for spirit. He didn't say it for financial, but he said it for spiritual, relational, and physical. Like, I'm happy. I'm just a happy guy.
Is that what
Happy
he
as
said?
you can.
I don't even remember. I do remember him saying it for like some of them.
Yeah, he definitely said it for at least 2 of them. Physical, it doesn't matter how happy you are. You could be as miserable as the Sandy Hook shooter, but if you're physically well, you're physically well. If you're not, you're not. You know. On to financial. Are you a 1 or are you like Tyrone Biggums, who you probably don't even know who that is?
I do not.
He's from the Chappelle Show.
Oh. Wait, is he like scratching his neck? Okay.
Are you 5? Are you like just a used car dealership general manager, like pretty like once again like an average Joe, or are you a 10? Are you Barbara Corcoran? I wanted to have some women in here.
I thought you were gonna do Warren Buffett. You're fat.
I didn't want it to be all men.
Okay.
That's very fucking sexist. Do you know who Barbara Corcoran is?
I don't think I do.
She's from Shark Tank.
Oh, she's that. Yeah, okay.
She's like one of the
blonde, right?
Sharks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Lori. Lori's like the young one.
Why not do like the Pepsi CEO? Oh, sorry, is that band?
I don't know who that is. What's the name?
Her name.
Oh.
That's why I said it. Jeez. I guess is she not the CEO? It was Indra Nodier. Nodi?
Some fucking nobody. That's who she is.
Okay, she's not a nobody. She was from 2006 to 2018, so she's not the CEO anymore. But she was one of the richest, more powerful women in the world.
Okay. What are you though?
9.
A 9. Mm-hmm. You think you're closer to Barbara Corcoran than a used car dealer?
Yes, I do.
Seriously?
Yes.
How? Like a used?
How?
If you had to estimate what a used car dealership general manager makes per year.
Are we talking about how much they make or how good they are with their finances?
We're
talking about how much I make.
How much they have.
All right, then I guess I'd be more of a 6.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like,
but I thought it was like how good we are with finances, not how skillful we are to being able to make more money because we're like a CEO versus a car salesman.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all encompassing, but I think the biggest metric of your financial pillar is how much money you have to your name.
Haven't we had this conversation? And you're on the other side of it is that saving is more important than what you make.
Yes. But even if like Tyrone Biggums were to save every penny that he panhandled for, he would not be able to accomplish enough to.
He's like, isn't he the one who's just doing crack all the time and begging for crack? So if he's panhandling and saving money, he's actually doing a lot better than his. I just want crack right now. So he'd be closer to a 2 or a 3 than a 1.
All right, I think you saying a 6 is appropriate.
All right.
I think you're a 6. I also think I'm a 6.
Okay.
And I think.
Did you even say your other ones?
I think relationally I'm a 5. Maybe what you said 6 as well.
For relational,
Yeah.
like 6 or 7. Yeah.
I think I'm a 6 relationally. Physically, I think I'm like 666. Like
whoa.
I think physically I'm a 6. I'm like maybe a 7.
Do we have to ban 6?
Can't say 7.
Can't say 6.
All right, maybe physically I'm maybe a 7. Financially 6. Spiritually, and then here's spiritual pillar. 1, are you Bill Maher? Do you think that we're on this like dead rock that's just spinning around in the universe with no spiritual purpose to anything? Is it all just meaningless and nihilistic?
Yes.
Yes. Are you a 5? Are you Andrew Tate? Because I feel like Andrew
He's
Tate.
a 5?
I feel
He's just in the middle?
I feel like he is, because like he believes in the spiritual realm, very spiritual. But I don't know.
A 5 is very spiritual.
Well, I mean, all right. He's normally spiritual, but I feel like he's not such a morally great person, and so that's why.
So morals are part of this?
Well,
Because morals is different.
I don't think you can be a 10 in spirituality but have bad morals.
But you can have good morals and be a 1 in spirituality, can't you?
Sure.
That's what I would say I am.
Maybe that's what Bill Maher is. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like Bill Maher's probably.
I'm pretty sure he donates. And,
yeah, he's got good morals, but he doesn't have good spirituality.
Yeah.
So,
That's me.
All right, so maybe Tate has to be knocked off there. If you can think,
I have no idea what the middle ground. Like just your average Joe. Like
yeah.
I don't know, Peanut. Well, no, Peanut's below that.
He said he's a 2. I'm a 2 because I believe nothing matters.
Yeah, why did he say he's a 2 instead of a 1? Because he's happy he's a step above a 1.
Because I'm happy, so how can I be a 1?
Oh my god.
And that's why I don't think that there can be any growth that occurs inside your comfort zone.
Wait, so what's a 10?
Mother Teresa.
That's fair. What are you?
I think that I am I keep saying 6, but I think I am like a.
You're the worst Baptist. You're 6'6".
6. No, I was a 7 physically.
Oh, okay. You're gonna bump it up.
But seriously, guys, we would really love to hear from you.
Yeah, what are you guys, chat? What are your 4 pillars?
Yeah, if you guys have anything you want to say. I need to cut off 1 second of dead time in that. So. But audience, don't be a bunch of hoes. Chime in. We want to hear from you. We want to hear Gladys's voice. She's a
Connor McMillan
There we go.
said, "Existence is meaningless."
I agree. Existence is pain.
All right, now.
Why are we having Connor on?
He said he's just wanking his little tiny.
Jeez, stop talking about masturbation all the time.
Stop talking about getting off.
Connor McMillan said, "We're all on a floating rock making other people rich after while we die."
Well, I mean, I'm making myself rich, but
good job.
I want to make our audience. I want to make our audience rich. I want to make them happy. I want to make them happy, and I want to make them, physically fit and to be relationally well connected in this life. So, please, if you guys have anything you want to say, please chime in.
Wait, so you're including spiritually? We should be more spiritual?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I know that you don't, but...
I don't think it's a necessity.
Sure.
It might be helpful in making people more happy, I guess. But I also feel like it can be more delusional.
Russell said, I'm a married father of 2. I'm rich in life, but kind of boring. I'll just make the occasional wisecrack.
Do you think it makes people delusional to be spiritual?
I mean, kind of. It's like faith. Like faith is not based on anything factual. So wouldn't you kind of say it's delusional?
That's a tough question. I don't know if I. All right, like if
Maybe delusional is a harsh word, but
no, but I do see what you are saying. But I think the only way that you can determine whether someone is delusional is if you have knowledge of reality. And I guess since all of us alive, as all of us living mortals have no knowledge of reality in the afterlife, we can't say whether it is or is not.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
I don't think
agnosticism, right? Also, I think that's great. I think that's great that Russ is a married father of 2 and is more rich in life. If he's boring, that's fine. He's happy. He has a rich life.
I'm happy.
But that's a good thing.
All right, so this next segment is called Plug Your Port. Will any port do in the storm, or does your portfolio pose a tactical advantage against the turbulence of the market conditions? What sectors do you stick to? What sectors do you avoid? Discuss your portfolio composition and diversity, and explain yourself.
I mean, I don't think there's anything particularly I avoid or target. I just kind of go with the one, like mainly what I do when I'm looking at stocks is I'm looking at their charts and seeing patterns, seeing where they're actually low compared to what they normally are. Because a lot of them are just like consistently going up, but then they have their little dips, and it's good to buy in those dips. So mine, for example, are like Starbucks. I bought a lot of that when it fell. What was it, like 3 or 4 months ago, because its earnings were poor, and then they switched to a new CEO after I'd already bought it, and they're working on getting that better, and the stock has now shot up a lot more, like a little past what it was before it like shot down, but not quite where it's at like when it was at towards its peak like a year ago, more so.
Mm-hmm.
I also like Exxon. It also had a merger recently with Pioneer Oil, which is what made it go up. But I bought both Exxon and Pioneer when they were existing, like a little less than a year ago, I guess. And then they merged, and it made them both like, well, they were already merging, which is why they were both going up. And then they merged, and Exxon itself is just going up in general. I mean, like Disney's another one. They're just a huge company, but they're down because they aren't doing a great job at marketing their streaming service, which is also just not doing well. But I feel like as they also got Bob Iger back as their CEO, which they didn't have at the time when their stock was low. He was their CEO before when he helped them in general, and then he's now back and the stock's kind of gone up. It's also going back down a little bit now, but I'm still in the green on that, and I think that's still a good one that'll increase in over time.
Okay. Any others that you want to plug?
I mean, I could just say all of mine. FedEx, Verizon, Equinor, which is I always confuse whether it's Norwegian or Danish, and that's an oil company.
1117.
Nasty.
AII.
Yo, what up, Nasty? We talking about our portfolio. This segment, Nasty, if you just came in, is called Plug Your Port. Will any port do in the storm, or does your portfolio pose a tactical advantage against the turbulence of market conditions? I know Nasty is a big ETF investor. He doesn't have a lot of individual stocks, which you and I are different. We're value stock pickers. And
I also like ones that have decent dividends.
Sure.
Disney wasn't one of them at the time, but they now have a dividend again, which definitely helps.
So, here. I want to play this soundbite and let me know what you think about it.
Towards David Osborne, who was like worth $100 million at the time. I thought that was the richest any human could be. So I walked, and he was like, "How much money do you have right now?" And I was like, "I don't know. I have $100K in the bank right now." He's like, "No, how much money exactly do you have in the bank?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I have to look." He goes, "You have to look." He's like, "How much money do you make a month?" And I was like, "Well, about this." He's like, "You don't know exactly." And I was like, "I also don't know that." "How much money do you spend?" I also don't know that. And he goes, "Money's a cruel mistress. If you don't pay attention to her, she will leave you for somebody else." And I remember hearing that conversation and thinking, let's take that one step further. So if all I have to do is follow my money, look at her, pay attention to her, and she'll grow. And he said, I can guarantee you, if 1 year from now, if you look at your money every single day, and you look at your spendings, and you look at your savings, and you think about an ability to grow both, 1 year from now, you will be rich.
What do you have to say about that? What do you have to say for yourself?
I think that helps. I don't think you're just going to be rich from doing that in a year, but I think you will increase your wealth from doing that in a year.
I can. It's not like my journey with money has only been 1 year. It's been about 3 years, I want to say. But I'm always becoming more focused on it. I'm always becoming more caring of my mistress money and in a very short time of my life. In just 10% of my life the past 3 years, I have more than 10x my net worth. Probably when I started in
From 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, when I started in the stock market, I remember I started with $100 and I bought
But what was your net worth?
Nothing.
It was more than $100 though, right?
Not much more.
Really?
Because 3 years ago I was unemployed. I was spending all of my money on weed and alcohol, and other drugs. I was, I didn't have a place of my own. Not like this is a place of my own, but at least I
It's half a place.
At least I'm not sleeping out on the street or sleeping on.
Is that what you were doing?
No, but I was relying upon the kindness of others to have a bed to sleep in. Whether it was my dad or my girlfriend or whatever. Or sleeping in Rye's basement or on Peanuts, couch or whatever like that. So, but basically 3 years ago, I was selling selling my blood plasma for.
Said, playing Sea of Thieves was a good time though.
Yo, I still play Sea of Thieves all the time.
There's nothing wrong with selling blood plasma.
I'm a pirate legend, dude. I'm a pirate legend. I'm the goat pirate. Do you have 2 jobs? Because my dad said that you're also a butt pirate. I'm a really good pirate though. But yeah, I was selling blood plasma so I could buy, and I bought my first $100 worth of Microsoft shares. I almost said shares plural. I bought
portion of a share.
1/3 of a Microsoft share with that, and since then I have just continued to add money to the stock market.
But also, that's not I feel like that's not 10K'ing it from the stock market. It's you adding it from your income that you then got from having
Sure.
a job.
Yeah, I mean that is also. It's not like the stock market is
Yeah.
solely responsible for my financial,
Well-being.
well-being, but it is, and I after listening to that, I actually wrote down like basically to the dollar what my net worth is. I'm not sure if I want to be like 100% transparent. Do you think
I
that
mean,
is?
it's up to you. I don't really care. I don't
Do you-
know my exact amount,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it might be like a thought experiment. You can
I
do
have
for next
calculated
time.
it somewhat, but then like it's always changing. Like how are you
Yeah.
you really want to like check it every second? Like
Do you think I should share it right now, or do you think that would be like
I mean, who
douchey?
what? Because you're bragging about it. I don't think it
Yeah.
really matters. It's,
All right. Well,
I can share mine too.
so I'll start with percentages. My SoFi. It's my biggest. It's my biggest like piece of my net worth. My SoFi all time is up 19.79%, which is
Nice.
pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
27.4% of it is Microsoft. 17.89% of it is Lockheed Martin. 11.17% of it is Apple. 10.2% of it is Coke. 9.6% of it is Nvidia. 7.33% of it is Philip Morris. 4.94% of it is Starbucks. 2.92% of it is Ford. 1.6% of it is Campbell's. 1.6% of it is Micron. 1.21% of it is Nike. 1.15% of it is HP. 1.04% of it is Procter Gamble. 1.04% of it is Dell, and 0.61% of it is Colgate Palmolive. 0.28% of it is Berkshire Hathaway Class B shares, and then I have $388 of buying power ready to go. I just haven't decided where I want to put that, but that's just from from my dividends like coming in all the time. Do you want to interject at all in any way?
What do you want me to say mine or
Just if you want to just share percentage wise, what's like the
Sure.
diversity of your SoFi account?
So my total return percentage right now is 19.91%.
Wow, you have a better all time return than me.
It's all Starbucks. All right, so my percentages.
We're a couple of 20%ers.
FedEx is 2.55%.
Wait, hold up. I want to play. I have the sound clip, and it's only here for times when I can talk about 20%. So like
20? Why 20?
That's the soundbite that I have that's perfectly appropriate for
Okay.
times when we mention 20%. Sorry. All right, go.
But
Proceed.
I'm just under 20%.
Me too. I'm just under 20%.
What did you say yours was?
19.7%. I think I was.
So I've got 2.55% of FedEx. That's my lowest. Got 3.27% of Disney. 3.35% Verizon. 3.74% Equinor. 4.29% Coke. That's what you just heard right now. 4.78 Novo Nordisk. 6.65% Yum Brands. 11.71% Exxon. And 59.65% Starbucks.
Jesus Christ, on a motorbike.
Which is probably where I should be selling soon.
I wonder. I bet you my Microsoft is around, probably right around 30% of my entire portfolio. So for you to have 20 more percent in Starbucks,
30. It's 59%.
Yeah,
it's like
that's-
almost 30%.
that's pretty high.
I put my balls on the table. What can I say?
So that's my speculative commission free investment app. If you guys are interested in a good one, SoFi is a great one. But
SoFi Stadium or the
don't
Chargers.
download it without me giving you a referral link. 'cause
Wait, why can't I give them a referral?
You could.
Why
If-
you
if
get
some-
all the
if
money?
somebody hits you
no,
up.
you can. I don't care.
My second biggest investment, I guess you would. My second biggest store of net worth is my Vanguard Roth IRA.
That's my biggest.
Really?
Well, not. It's not a. It's my 401k.
Oh,
which-
I didn't even mention my. I don't know what my 401k is because I don't like look at it. I just
Yeah, I don't
blindly
usually
put
either.
10% into it. But
Well, now you don't. Now it's what 4%.
no, I didn't. I didn't change.
Oh, you
it.
didn't change it yet.
And I don't think I'm gonna. 'Cause I don't want to take a step back. Like, I
It's
just wanna
not
keep
taking a step back, really. It's like, well, one, you can actually use that money for other investments that you believe in rather than just blindly putting it in a
True,
401k.
yeah. And paying it a high expense ratio on some account manager to.
I don't think it's that high. Mine's like 0.04%.
But if he's not getting me 19.9% returns, then I don't fucking
Okay.
I don't care about him. Like, I don't see.
Well,
why
mine
I'm
is
paying-
my Vanguard. So what I'm not sure what the percentage is, but I'm pretty sure it's like 30%.
Really?
Because I had like 50,000 going in, and now it's like 66,000. That's like close to 30,000.
Close to 30%. You're saying,
Or yeah, 30%. Sorry.
Is it?
Yeah, because well, if you
50
double it, that's 32%. But it would be out of 66,000 instead of out of 50,000. So 16,000 divided by 66,000. Okay, never mind. It's like 24%, but it's
Still not bad.
still better than what I'm doing.
And that is entirely ran by a.
ran by
manager?
Vanguard. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not running it.
Are you able to pull up that percentage breakdown or?
I don't remember where it is.
See, my Vanguard is up 16.4% all time. I didn't put percentages here, so should I just set that? Whatever. Like, it's not like my Vanguard's like fucking crazy. My Vanguard has $33,394 in it, and that is $12,735 worth of Microsoft, $5,062 worth of Colgate, $4,627 worth of Ford, $3,063 worth of Dell, $2,498 worth of Nvidia, $1,434 worth of Coke, $1,148 worth of Apple, $984 of Starbucks, $839 of Nike, $617 of Lockheed Martin, and $376 of HP.
Yeah, so my Vanguard last time I checked, which was probably a couple months ago, was 66 to 67,000. And it was most of it came from my Wawa like ESOP plan, and then also the 401k there, which got just rolled over into Vanguard all since I left.
Mhm.
So that's just been doing well ever since anyway. And then my Roth IRA should be around like 21,000. A little, I think it might be a little more than 21,000.
Okay. Then hey, if you guys are in the chat and still listening, let me know if this is like compelling subject matter or if it's fucking boring. To me, it's like interesting. I'm passionate about this kind of stuff.
He loves to brag. He
and
brags about his fantasy team every week.
I don't think I do, and I also
You definitely do.
also equally like bash it when it is not impressing me. But
like yesterday.
then this is something that I'm kind of undecided about. We've discussed this, but I had like basically fucking 24 months ago. I put $10,000 into a CD, immobilized 10,000 of my soldiers, immobilized 10,000 of my soldiers for 2 years, so they could earn like fucking 4%. Which, if you look at like my other money, I believe that I could have quadrupled those returns, taking a little bit of risk. But now that is.
But you were a big doom and gloomer over there, saying, "Oh, we're in a recession, where the stock market's gonna crash."
So now that $10,000 is now $10,757. Ooh, it's a seven,
Ooh,
it's a,
you're not God.
Now it's $10,757. That's a 7.5% return, if I'm not mistaken. Does that sound about right? Because it puts on about 4% per year. So, but I don't know. My one thought about that is every year when it comes time to fund my Roth, I will just be able to take out. Like, I think if I ever did it again, I'll only do a 12-month CD. So that way I have it available every, like, January 1st, let's say. And then I'll just be able to take out whatever I think is, whatever it costs to fund a Roth. Which, what do we think it's going to be? 7,000.
Well, unless it changes, but it's 7,000 right now for ages under 65 and a half, something like
So
that.
I will probably put. I'm thinking about at least always having $7,500 in a CD that matures on January 1st every single year. I'm not.
'Cause I don't think it's gonna go up 500 every year. This has just been kind of recently where they did it twice, I think, because it used to be 6,000 a couple of years ago. But I don't think it normally goes up like that.
Do you have a CD?
Yeah, I have a $10,000 CD at a 5% rate, which will be maturing January 18th.
Look at us, bunch of fucking big dick CD.
I don't think having a CD makes you a big dick. Like that's kind of little dick energy because you're not confident enough to like make your own money. And
no, CD stands for see this dick. And then I got a checking account with $2,873. I think it's like very smart for a financially literate person to have.
James Brennan said, "It feels like I'm sitting in the corner watching you."
Is that a good
you
thing
cucking?
or a bad thing? What are you saying, you little fucking cuck?
Wait, so how much did you say in your checking?
$2,800 or $2,873.
I like to keep it all in my savings until I know I need to spend it in my checking. I'll keep like a couple hundred in the checking, and then if I have like bigger bills coming, I'll move from my savings to the checking. Whatever amount I need.
I just like I don't know. I'm not with the banking.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like the savings isn't going to be making much anyway. So.
And then I calculated my precious metal collection, and I multiplied it by spot prices today. This is all of this is my net worth as of like an hour ago. So I have 100 and I have more. I have like a lot of like bulk like I don't have like a scale, so I have like a lot of random silver, gold, and copper that is not factored into here. So I'll just say I have more than 172 ounces of copper at $4.60 an ounce. That means I have 791.20 in copper. I have more than 16 ounces of silver at 31.60 of silver. That means I have $505.60 of silver. I have 4 grams of gold at $85.50 a gram. That means I have $342 worth of gold, and then I have a gram of platinum at $32.10. I have $32.10 worth of platinum. So that means I have $1,671 worth of precious metals. More, it's more though, because like I said, I have like a bunch of like I don't know, like I have like a bunch of fucking silver necklaces and silver pins and fucking copper cubes or whatever, so probably like a little bit more than that. I have $320 worth of 30-year bonds that were like given to me like when I was born.
You still haven't sold them?
I
had mine.
I think they mature.
They haven't matured yet? You said you got when you were born.
Okay, well then I must have gotten these when I was like 3
Okay.
or something like that. Because I think some of them have matured, some of them haven't.
Yeah.
Well, do we know what will that become? It won't be just $320. Will it be like a lot more? Or
Not
like
a
just
lot more, but how many do you have, you said? Or is it just $320 in bonds total when they were bought?
Yeah. The face value on them adds up to $320.
Do you know how many there were? 5 totaling to that. I mean, it's so bonds don't really increase that much. Honestly,
even double or no?
A 30-year bond, maybe. I don't think it would.
This is why I want to encourage our viewers not to buy. I know Devin loves his bonds, but I'm not going to encourage our viewers to have too much CDs, too much in their savings account, too much in their bonds. I think it's too boring of a.
Also, I don't think you have to wait for them to completely mature. I think in like the 28th year, it's like basically the same anyway. You can like cash out now and it'll like basically you'll be able to spend it now or like reinvest it somewhere else now instead of waiting for the extra $2 you're gonna get for the next 2 years.
Then I have like $200 worth of fucking mattress cash.
What do you
there.
You just have it in your mattress?
It's like I sold my old car on
For $200.
I sold it for $800.
Oh my god!
I sold it for $800. Gave Vinny $500 for his
security deposit.
Security deposit, and then
So then shouldn't you have 300?
Well, I spent a little bit of it. So I don't know if I necessarily feel like disclosing my exact net worth, but I have it like written down here. If we ever feel like that would be compelling content, I am willing to. But I don't want to be like
compelling. Yeah, you do.
I'm rich. I'm rich.
Take your hat off, boy. That's a $1 bill.
Where is it?
I'm rich.
Is that National Lampoon?
It's Professor Thunderfoot.
Take your hat off, boy, that's a $1 bill.
All right, so I guess we can go on to our next segment. Chernie, are you a feminist?
Why do you say it like that? Yeah, and I've already gone over in what way I believe, but I'll say like to the same extent that I believe men and women should be equal for opportunity and equal for what they are. I don't think they are equal in every attribute that they have, like physical strength, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But in areas where they have equal talent, they should have equal opportunity.
I forget, is that equity or not?
What do you mean?
Equity is equality in outcome, or I think equity is equality of opportunity, right? Or is that equality? What's the difference between equity and equality?
I think equity is of ownership, but not even ownership. So, I mean, when I think of equity, I just think of like stocks as your equity. Equality means each individual or group of people is given the same resources or opportunities. Equity recognizes that each person has different circumstances and allocates the exact resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal outcome. So equity would be equal outcome.
Okay. Yeah. So do you believe that women deserve equality of outcome or equality of opportunity?
You mean like equity of for outcome?
Sure.
Yeah, like equity pretty much.
Because like what if a woman does less work? Does she deserve the same outcome as a man
Well,
who
they're
works
not
harder?
they're not using their opportunity. So no, they don't deserve it.
Yes, so you don't believe in equity, which is equality of outcome, right?
Equity recognizes that each person has different circumstances and allocates the exact resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal outcome. So
Yeah.
you're not like
And a person who believes in equity believes that you should give
more to people that
yes,
are okay.
yes.
Um, hmm.
Russell said, if I'm ever a CEO, I will exclusively employ women at 70% pay and post-report profits.
That's
Right.
so non-feminist of you. But I mean, if we really want to talk about the wage gap, it's a good. It's
Well, it
like,
sounds like you want to bring it up.
well, I think Russ pretty much perfectly articulated
Okay.
it right here. If a CEO were to be
They already are.
greedy,
They already have make
greedy and
record
capitalist,
profits.
and the wage gap was a tangible, real thing that was allowed to exist, which I don't think it is, then wouldn't a CEO just exclusively hire women, pay them 70% of what they pay men, and record record profits?
The wage gap isn't in the way you're describing it or the way you think it is. It's in the way that for equal work, they're getting paid less. For things like being a bus driver, being a financial manager, it's not just like every single aspect, like being an athlete. Women are like they're gonna be paid less there because of
Said, I identify as 70.
You old fucking bird. Well, I think, I mean, I think you know, I think most of our viewers know, I'm not a feminist. I don't think that, I don't think that a lot of the, I don't think that a lot of the causes that fourth wave feminists are.
Okay, I'm not a fourth wave feminist, so you're not like you're arguing to a straw man.
Okay. Am I, do I consider myself a first wave feminist? That'd be a good question. And I
probably.
do. Like,
Yeah.
I am a first wave feminist. Like, I believe that women deserve the right to vote. I believe that women deserve the right to open up a bank account for themselves. I believe women deserve a right to, what else did first wave feminism fight for? Like,
Walk outside without having to cover your face with a hijab.
I mean, that's never been in America. Like, in America, that is never.
But it still exists in the world right now.
Sure. I mean, but I don't necessarily see a lot of American feminists.
Russell said, do men deserve the right to vote?
Yes. Everyone deserves the right to vote.
Well, all right. Now we can start talking about
What? Why are we asking if men deserve the right to vote?
because, like, what age are you a man, and can you identify as whatever?
Well, by voting laws, it's 18, which is when everyone is able to vote.
Do you have a fully developed prefrontal cortex at 18?
No, but that's not what we're arguing here. We're arguing what the like do they deserve the right to vote and what a man is, which is by our current system 18. It's very objective and arbitrary, whatever you believe it should be, but
Russell
like
said, you can't vote without selective service registration.
Coming with fucking heat. All right. Do you think that college loans are predatory?
definitely, yeah.
Why?
Because they're way overpriced and they target people when they're in high school before they're even legally able to vote or be in the military.
So if they were,
Which is actually what military does too. They
If
also
they-
target people below 18.
well, it's kind of what politicians do when they're trying to target people's votes. But,
well, they don't target 16-year-olds because they can't vote.
yeah, but do you think that if the military and the university, and like universities had to wait until they targeted 18-year-olds, would they still be predatory?
If they had to wait for them to be 18 to do
Yes.
it,
Would they still
I
be
mean,
predatory?
yeah, like they would still probably be doing the same stuff.
So, if the people who are signing up for these predatory loans are making ill-informed decisions about what they do with their own money for the rest of their lives, can they really be like entrusted to decide, the outcome of the free world and all 300 million people who lived in America? Or
Okay, so what point are you trying to make? Are you trying to say they should wait until 25? Or are you like should the same be said about like fighting for your country in the military and drinking age and smoking age and all of those?
I think that I think that an adult needs to be like clearly defined.
It's
Not just,
clearly defined at 18, except for drinking age for some reason.
and
But
renting a car is for some reason 25.
that one's so
the insurance
weird.
companies know. The
Well,
insurance companies
yeah.
know that these people are not.
They use statistics.
Yeah. So like, why is everything else
So-
available
so-
to underdeveloped, prefrontal
Well-
cortex kids?
Well, for the point on insurance companies waiting till 25, that's statistical data based on accident occurrences. It's not based on their voting abilities. So, like, if you have data on, like, I don't even know how you would have data on it for being able to like vote correctly because there's not like a correct vote. Um, that would be what you would use, but like there isn't something you can do for that.
I mean, like we're kind of straying away from the point, which is, am I a feminist? And I mean, I was
we really straight away.
I was saying that yes, I was a first wave feminist. Now, the more I think about it, I'm not even
Oh my
sure
god!
of that.
let's not get too hot here, all right?
Do I think that every Tom, Dick, and Harry deserves the right to decide what the free world is for 600 million people or however many people live in America? Like, no, I don't.
Who should you think? Are you gonna get into this?
I think two candidates should get into a.
I thought you were
fucking
gonna talk about the IQ test or something. Like, how do you decide who's eligible to vote or not?
This is why I think this is why I'm
And
gonna-
no, they should not get into a pit and have a death match.
No, I think everybody should. I'm talking to you. You shouldn't vote.
People with skin in the game.
So
People with skin in the game, sure. Like, yeah, if
we
you
all
are a
have,
person,
most
with,
of us have skin in the game. What's
there's a lot of people that don't have skin in the game.
what's not having skin in the game?
If-
Welfare.
If you're on welfare, do you think they deserve a right to vote? If they
So-
do not contribute to.
So at what point are you allowed to, like, are you revoked it?
Sex. The pony.
What's up?
Hey, what's up? So are you revoked it as soon as you go on welfare, and then are you given it back when you're off welfare? People on welfare aren't on welfare forever.
And what? All right. What? I think if you.
And
think if you
and
suck
when
up more
hardships
than-
happen, I feel like that welfare is a good thing for them to have. Like, it's not like everyone is just taking advantage of welfare just because people say it is.
Sex certainly is an interesting thought exercise.
All right. What about people who have a negative net worth? Do they deserve the right to vote?
Oh.
Because one thing that we didn't mention on our net worth chart is how much debt are you in? How much debt are you in? Oops, sorry. That is appropriate too.
That is.
How much debt are you in?
Oh, are you playing something or are you asking?
I'm
me?
asking you how much debt you're in.
I can't think of any debt other than my rent, which
I would
I've
not
all.
call that
It's not
debt.
even debt because I already paid it.
So zero.
So I'm just trying to think what
Uh-huh.
what there would be like because I guess we're not gonna count bills because that's just reoccurring
Yeah.
monthly.
No, yeah.
I guess my credit card I have like 500 in debt, but I also pay that monthly, so that'd be
I
kind of
would
like
not-
the
I
same
would not
thing.
really call
So
that debt either.
then yeah, I would just say I don't have any debt. That's what you were waiting on.
I also have zero debt. I think, and I don't even fucking want it, but I think I deserve the right to vote. I think a person who is.
You made it sound like you didn't.
I think I deserve the right to vote, but that doesn't necessarily mean I want to. That
Well,
doesn't
yeah, I know it.
necessarily mean
Like,
I value
why do
it.
you even care? You don't want to vote.
But do you-
Only women have the right to vote. Men need to register for selected.
Yo, it's
Okay,
a privilege for us.
so
it's a privilege that we need to earn. Women get it for free.
You-
Facts.
Calm down. You brought this up already, and I haven't like talked about it, but
Okay.
I agree. Men shouldn't have to be enlisted to vote. Like you're not telling me something against me. I think women should have the right to vote, and I think men should have the right to vote without enlisting. It's not
So-
my fault that the government thinks otherwise.
So Russ, here's let's make this thought experiment even like one level deeper. 80% of the American population is physically, for one reason or another, unfit to serve in our military. So let's say there's a draft and they register for the selective service. The military would take one look at them and be like, "Oh, this fat fuck, they're not going to serve our country. They're not going to."
But they still get the right to vote.
This person could be like a meat shield, or like what they would better serve us as just staying home. You know, so do morbidly obese people deserve the right to vote?
Why are we going on like all these tangents?
Well, I'm just
Yes,
asking.
they do deserve the right to vote.
Yes.
Yeah.
So someone can be a
Russell said, not trying to antagonize, just wanted to inject some topics to consider.
I've already heard this topic.
do you think that people who are a net drain on society still deserve the right to
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Like what? Because they owe money places, they shouldn't have the right to vote.
vote? And what if they have like a repeated history of taking from society and giving little or nothing back?
I mean, they're not a great person. I don't think that means that they're or that it not even like that. That sounds like way harsher than I meant it to be. But like, not even that they're a bad person. Maybe they just have a lot of hardships.
Maybe
Maybe
they-
they have medical conditions that put them into debt.
Sure.
That's what happened with my family. Like my parents, like specifically my dad, had a lot of medical issues, and it put us in a lot of debt
Sure.
to where we owed a lot more. And then our mortgage got higher, and we had to put on forbearance, which is where we were way into debt. So that's like stuff that happens. And
Yeah.
I don't think my parents were a drain on society
No, I
and
don't
don't
think-
deserve the right to vote.
Like, did they have jobs for?
My
majority
dad
of their
did. He
life?
became. My mom didn't. She did before I was born, but then she was a housewife afterwards.
Russell said, it's valid to say yes or no. Either way, the system is open to corruptive influence.
Mhm.
I think there should be some type of aptitude assessment. Not saying an IQ test, because we know that is very.
Then what is it?
racially
Like,
biased.
okay, well, how? Like, what are you gonna come up with? That's
maybe
valid.
Maybe we could rate
Are we
these
gonna
people
make-
based on their human worth. How
What
are they
is-
relationally? How are they physically? How are they financially? How are they?
That's
spiritually? You don't have to have the
subjective.
spiritual thing.
how are you even measuring it? That's subjective.
If you have a negative net worth, if you are morbidly obese, if you are unemployed,
The IQ filter.
if you are all these bad things, I don't think you deserve the right to decide.
I
Fate of the free
disagree.
world, I'm sorry.
And what these people that like what if you're just really bad in one? Do they deserve the right to vote because they're like really dumb but have like they're skinny and like fit
No,
or
like there's not a drain on society if they're like a hard worker.
okay,
they're
but
just dumb.
why should they decide the free world if they're dumb?
because like you could still be a good decision maker even if you're not
If you're
some,
dumb?
like, maybe you're not some whiz kid. Like you don't have to be like smart to make good decisions. You know what I mean? But if you
Well, I'm not talking about like book smart versus street smart. Like I'm just saying you're dumb across the board. Like
But what if you're like all right? I mean, I just think
because
I think
that seems to be what you were getting at too, right?
I think there are some. I think not all men and women are
Russell
created
said,
equal.
should
I'm
Lenny from the
sorry. Yo, Lenny's a fucking goat, dude. Yeah. Like,
Lenny killed a man.
no, he killed a
killed.
woman. He killed a woman.
Didn't he also? Oh no, his brother killed him.
Yeah.
It
Come on, look at the rabbits, Lenny. Thanks, George.
was a mercy killing.
Yeah.
It was
He fucking yelled at him.
literally.
All right. I think we've exhausted this topic.
Mhm.
So why don't we get on to the piece de resistance of our episode and talk about, can growth occur in contentment? Is there such a thing as like toxic happiness?
I get it in a way, sure, but I also think it's okay to be happy. If you feel like you've reached your goals in life, it's okay to be content there. If you want to grow more, that's fine too. It's just kind of a personal choice.
Um, at what age do you think it would be toxic to stop wanting to grow? Like, do you think if an 18-year-old was content that
What if the 18-year-old's like rich and has like a wife and is just has everything he wants? Like I don't know. I don't think there's an age cap or an age limit on it.
well, I just think that
It's unlikely for an 18-year-old, obviously, but it like you can be happy at that age. I'm sure there's probably more to gain later on in life, which I'm sure though that 18-year-old's probably gonna want more and not just be content with what they have at 18.
I think that, I mean, it is my opinion because it is
Russell said, I'd say once your kids are grown is a good place to start coasting.
yeah. I mean, theoretically that
What is grown? Is it being a
Let's-
man at
well,
18?
yeah, it's grown 18 because I mean I can speak from my personal anecdotal experience. I was not grown at 18. I was not grown
Definitely.
at 25. Like
I'm not grown now.
I'm still not grown. That's what I'm saying. Because I don't ever like just look at my life and I'm like, like I've accomplished it
Well,
all.
maybe you will at some point.
Maybe I will. But like,
Obviously, you don't think you're there yet, which is fine. You can grow more. If you get to that point, like Peanut, I guess. I don't know if he's actually completely content yet because I think he wants kids and isn't there yet. Um, then like he can be content when he has everything that he wants, which could come a lot later in life.
I think that you can always be growing your. You can,
Russell said, I didn't buy my house until 31. I'm glad my dad is able to finally put his feet up.
yeah, and my dad is too. My dad still technically works, but he doesn't. Like he's like considered retired, But I think he still does like some consulting for extra money, And I have a. I think my therapist is like around early 80s, and he's still working. I think he's legally retired, but he's still, what is the word? Therapizes me, or
I don't
Still-
think that's the
he
word.
still provides me
Therapeutic.
therapy.
Like
He's still therapy.
I don't know if there's a verb for that.
He still
Therapize.
provides me therapy.
Yeah, just say provides therapy.
and he does that for like pocket cash and stuff like that. And I think if he was
Therapizes
if he
me.
was content, if he was like satisfied with the growth that he had achieved in his first 80 years, he wouldn't do that. He would just go fishing or go to Bermuda.
Oh yeah,
or
terrible to go
what-
fishing and going to Bermuda. I would never want to do that.
Well, it's like grow or die. Grow or die.
What do you mean? Why is it grow or die? Why isn't it grow or do other things you like? What the heck?
No. Fuck that.
Like going to Bermuda and like fishing is not dying.
Work till Social Security kicks in. Then decide how much is in savings before you retire.
Yo, who are you?
Who
know
are
who the
you?
fuck YouTube user is,
YouTube
bro, like,
user.
Fucking.
What the heck? That sounds like a government spy.
Who's this fucking plant, yo? Who sent you? Who do you work for? But work till Social Security kicks in, then decide how much is in savings before you retire. For sure. And I mean, it's very possible that you are going to be disappointed with how much is in your Social Security. Like, if you're banking on that shit.
Russell said, Susan W. is the ghost in the machine.
I don't know.
Is that your wife, Russ?
Well, what does Ghost in the Machine mean?
I don't. I think that's like an anime.
What?
The
There's Ghost in the Shell.
Is
Is that what
I don't
he's
know.
referencing? I don't think so.
I mean, I always want to have that like Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality where like I'm never satisfied. You know, maybe I will.
That sounds sad. Like, why would you like? Never being satisfied is not a good feeling.
Like, I'm not,
Or you could at least like it's not even like you just have to rest on your laurels. You can have like satisfaction in something. Like you have satisfaction in your fantasy teams when they're doing well.
I have a lot of satisfaction.
But you make it sound like you never can have that.
Kelly Wheelan said, that's what Prozac is for.
Prozac. I know, but like
I disavow that is it's a red flag. It's erroneous.
What, having Prozac?
Yeah, like I mean,
what's wrong with Prozac?
I guess we can get into this conversation about whether the pharmaceutical industry is out for people's best interests or not. I think not. I suppose if you really do need it, I'm not gonna knock like somebody who really needs an antidepressant in order to have like
Don't talk bad on my health stock.
Big Pharma. My dad just bought Pfizer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm looking at Bristol Myers Squibb because I know a guy.
I know a guy. I know a guy who knows a guy.
Get you some pills that fell off the truck. Do you have any other like? Do you think you can? Like, can we reach a middle ground here?
Like, what do you mean?
I don't know. Like what?
I agree that you can like be content where you are, or you can like I said in the beginning, like you can definitely just have more goals and stuff, but I feel like there is a point where you can just be happy with your life.
And what point is that?
Whatever it is, it's the individual. It's different for each person.
Arbitrary metric.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how you want your life.
Exactly.
Mine is to be a grandfather surrounded by my kids and grandkids during holidays. What is your end goal? Suitor 2013 said, you need to define happiness first.
Hey George, it's good to see you, man. Define happiness. Can you do that for me?
I don't know, actually. I guess it's just where I'm kind of just doing everything I want and have everything I want. Like being married with like a wife that I enjoy spending time with. I don't really want kids, so that's not really in the cards.
Happiness is a Canadian.
I love when our mental health specialist weighs in with that one. It's so great. All right. Does this make me like a sicko?
A sicko?
Because if I achieve, you define happiness as achieving everything you want, right?
Sure.
If I achieve everything
self-actualization.
If I actualize myself, if I achieve everything that I ever wanted, I'm gonna look forward at my future and see
this
meaningless existence of
life is already meaningless.
Like,
life is already meaningless. You're
I
just well.
I don't agree with that.
What's the meaning of life, Mister? I know everything.
I don't know everything, but I think I think the only one who knows all.
Suitor 2013 said, Once you achieve everything you want, you will want more. That's why the rat race is a lie.
Why does she sound different when he talks?
Yeah, because like she speaks with the voice of God.
Kelly Leon said, Monty Python made a movie to answer that question.
Meaning of life. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen Monty Python. I don't remember.
Well,
I've
there's
seen
the Holy
specific-
Grail. And
Yeah, I've seen the
Meaning
Holy
of
Grail.
Life, I think is the
I've
other
probably
one.
seen clips of the other one. There's also The Meaning of Life is 42 in Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Okay.
Galaxy.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Which is death, by the way.
Okay. All right, so let's say I actualize myself. I realize all of my wants and goals.
Suitor 2013 said, I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that it's not the answer. Jim Carrey. Suitor 2013 said, by the way, the lady talking is a trip.
She really is.
Her name is Gladys, George, and we're having people can nominate what they want us to name her. And eventually I want it to be like Morgan Freeman or Denzel. But this is it is who it is right now.
Kelly Leon said, I miss Punjabi.
Yo, Punjabi was the goat.
Punjabi, apparently.
Yo, Punjabi was that motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. All right, but I'm gonna. I keep getting sidetracked by all these comments.
We're interactive with the chat.
If I realize all of my goals, all my ambitions, I'm gonna
Kelly
look.
Leon said, no one will ever get my last name right. Russell said, Gal 9000.
Sounds like a fuck.
So what is happiness? When are you happy then? Are you just never happy?
When I go to heaven and I'm with God, is when I will be happy.
What if that doesn't exist?
Well, then, like maybe I'm always happy. Like I really do feel kind of.
I don't know. I don't think you're always happy.
Do you think I'm a fucking prick?
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like I don't really get like down all that much. I think that I'm pretty even keel. Like I'm always happy and I'm always striving to accomplish more.
It's fair. You could do that. I'm not against doing that. Like I said in the beginning, I just think it's an individual thing. Like I think Peanut is happy. Like I think that's
Clearly,
fine
yeah.
for him. I think he's probably happier than most of us here. Like it's that I feel like it's a good thing, and I don't think he's necessarily at contentment because I think he still does have goals and still is pursuing those goals.
Yeah, well, for sure. I don't know. Like I think it's a complicated question.
It's also more of a fleeting feeling than something that you're just always going to be like. You can say,
Later 2013 said, there's been major studies that happiness comes from finding meaning and purpose in the work you do, while also balancing a healthy physical diet and exercise.
there's also a study by I think it was Harvard, where the amount of money you need to reach peak happiness, I believe, was like 75,000 a year. Once you get past that, it's just plateaued. You don't get any higher.
We kind of glossed over it when I was breaking down my net worth, and I didn't mention it in my net worth, but I did do like a subtle calculation of what I earn per year in like a rough estimate, and it's not $75,000 a year. Like I think
So you're not happy.
I think your money can make money so much faster than you can if you like position it in a way to do so.
I think
My money has
more
probably
so
made
if you
more
have
money than me.
I feel like if you have money, like a lot of money, you can make a lot more than like your money can make a lot more than you can yourself.
Yeah.
But also the people that already have that are also making a lot more anyway. So I don't
Yeah. But yes, like I don't think that I ever need to be making $300,000 a year to be happy. I think I have the. I think.
Well, to get a house, you do.
Yeah. Well, I might. Yeah. I mean, definitely, like getting a house is not necessarily on my bucket list. Like
Well, I mean, you want a house though, don't you? I mean, that's kind of on my bucket list.
I think Elon Musk lives in like a tiny house. Like one of those,
I mean,
like-
I'm not even trying to get a big house. I just want a house to, well, hopefully with my wife if I ever get one. But I would want like a house that we would just own ourselves and not be renting all the time. Although you're still gonna be renting with like all the taxes on property anyway.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you never. Really
But
own
it's
anything.
still, I still think it's better than renting and paying like 3,000 a month.
All right. So, do you think we've exhausted this topic enough?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. What? This is your opportunity, Chernie. You're in front of the camera. All of the internet is looking at you.
Don't look.
October 2013 said, under 35,000 people tend to worry about paying bills or providing for kids and family. Those over 75,000 tend to be more stressed at work and their home life is a higher cost of living.
Yes, I'm sure you could be perfectly happy, right? I think the golden number is like probably right under $75,000, and your spouse makes right under $75,000. So you're making like about $150,000 as a household every year. This is like ideal. Obviously, I'm sure there are plenty of people who don't achieve this standard, but I think that that could be very fruitful.
Kelly Leon said, 35,000 in the country or state or city?
Yeah, like like $35,000. Well, like Kelly, I don't make much more than $35,000 a year. But my money, my money is like my spouse. I got like a stable horse of bitches. I named my 2 accounts Vanjie and Sophie. And Vanjie and Sophie bring that money home to daddy. I'll tell you.
Sophie's a good name. I like Sophie. Actually, that's the name of my one of my cousin's daughters is Sophie.
I like the name Sophie. Short for Sophia, or short for
I
something.
think I think her name is just Sophie. I don't think it's short for anything.
But so, if in a perfect world,
It might
be. Let's say you had 2, grown adults that were married to each other. They both had a very profitable investment portfolio, and they both earned $52,000 a year.
Said, $40,000 or less as a single person with no kids or pets is difficult in any area.
Well, good thing I make more than that.
I basically make that on the dot, and I do have a pet. So yeah, like it is.
That
difficult.
pet makes it difficult.
It's difficult, but onto the subject matter of our show. Can growth occur in contentment? No, like those trials of adversity are what build character. That's what I think.
Rub some dirt in it, boy.
Said, LOL, the robot voice is doing Kelly dirty.
Kelly Leon. All right, Chernie, this is your opportunity. Say it into the camera.
What
say
am I
it
saying?
with your chest out. What do you want to say to the world? This is like this is.
You just throwing this on the spot for me. I don't even. I don't know, Rick. What do you want me to say, Rick? you didn't give me every prep for this. Like.
Say business casual, Dan.
Well, what am I saying? Give me a question or something.
What hill are you willing to die on?
What do you mean?
Like what what do you disagree with most folks about?
With most folks about
Yeah.
gambling.
Alright.
you guys gotta like chill on the like casino gambling, sports gambling. Like that's kind of just killing your net income
And
and
thanks,
net worth.
Russell, it's like I have a whole new persona.
We tried to poison you. We tried to poison you. Because you're an insane, degenerate piece of filth, and you deserve to die.
Although I feel like I'm not really making a hot take with that. I feel like a lot of people don't
we're
like
in the
it.
minority. We're in the minority
Well,
of people who don't
so
fucking gamble.
in that aspect, but I think that a lot of the people that do gamble also hate that they gamble. For the most, like, I feel like a good majority of them do, but they still do it because they're just addicted to it.
Yeah.
They know it's bad and they know it kills their income, but they're addicted. Like,
Because they think they're going to hit big.
and then you've got all these new things like bonus bets and boosts and stuff that just get you in the door, and then they hook you more with boosts, and it just kind of keeps you gambling and keeps you losing money in the long run.
Yeah, I think it's a plight on society, and we were talking about it last night. You seem to disagree, but now the casino is in every single person with a smartphone pocket, 24/7. We are in the casino all of our lives now.
So I disagree with the accessibility being the issue because I think that like people
Russell
that
said, fun fact, 95% of gambling addicts give up right before
This is why we gamble. This is why we gamble.
So I like the accessibility issue. It's like a part of the problem, sure, but I don't think it increases it so much without the extra advertising and stuff that is given to it. Like you'll see it during every football commercial or like just regular commercials in between shows in general. Like they're always talking about DraftKings and I can't even think of the other ones right now. Sports books, FanDuel. They just underdog like any of these like betting apps, they're just constantly giving you advertisement, reasons to bet. Oh, look, here's a free 1 yard for Patrick Mahomes. Now just add a bet onto that and you can win. But like you still have to bet. You still have to actually hit on other things. You can't just like win money easily from it. There's no free bet on it. You're better off putting your money on safer bets like as much as you don't like CDs, CDs are definitely safer than gambling.
Sure.
Savings accounts are better than gambling. Putting it in the stock market is better than gambling. Putting in your 401k, putting in a Roth, putting in a traditional IRA, like anything is pretty much better than just straight up gambling at a casino or gambling at your sportsbook app.
Yeah, I mean I couldn't agree more. I probably have a million hills to die on. I'm like Custard. I don't know if I want to make my last stand right now, but what hill am I willing to
Actually,
die?
I have another one.
No, die on all these hills. I want to hear it.
Well, this one I feel like should just be general knowledge and generic. Just being kinder to people. I'm guilty of it myself at times. Like I'm not the best person at all, but I do feel like we need to spread more like kindness and just being dicks to each other all the time. Like so many people just want to take from each other rather than actually giving and helping out. I like the main reason I'm even on this is I'd rather be helping people and spreading information. Like I'm trying to help my roommate get this going. I want my roommate to become successful with this podcast, even if I'm not part of it. And I want to give advice, informative advice to people helping grow their income in any way they can, or just helping them in general. I want the world to be a better place. I want people to be better people.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, That's why I'm doing it. I mean, I have my selfish reasons. Do I want to be rich and powerful and
I want to be rich. I don't want to be
influential and
powerful.
have high status? Of course I do. I'm sorry. I'm human. But
That's fair.
I want this podcast to be wildly successful.
One of my bills is that listening to an audiobook is the same as reading a printed book.
Oh yeah. All right. So, Russ, you should. I don't know if you've heard of this guy, Michael Sartain,
I've heard of it.
but he.
Ryan Micklin said, "What about that gambling is fun?"
Well, does it make you happy? Like, all right.
It increases your serotonin.
Do you think? All right, I have a thought experiment for you gambling supporters. If let's say you hit the mother of all parlays, it was a 20-leg parlay. The odds were, I don't know, 5,000 to 1. You bet $100,000 on it. You basically turned $100,000 into $100 million. Would you
stop gambling?
Yeah, would you stop gambling? Would you be happy and content with your life?
See, yeah, you gotta be content. Exactly.
Would you do it, or would you continue to do it and waste all of your money back into the casinos?
So about gambling being fun, I'm not completely against it if you don't have an addictive personality. If you're if you have the wealth to afford gambling here and there and it doesn't affect your daily life.
I don't have an addictive personality, but I understand.
I mean, I understand it too. I have hit.
Sugar 2013 said, "Gambling makes an adrenaline rush, similar to skydiving, bungee jumping,
I want to do that.
etc. I work too hard for my money to blow that fast."
Facts.
Yeah. I mean, I have an addictive personality, and I'm like an adrenaline and a dopamine junkie, and I have learned to tone it down.
I feel like I have an addictive personality unless it comes to my money. If I'm losing a lot of money for it, I'm not addicted to it.
I mean, when I was early in the stock market, I was like a gambler in the stock market, and I would put
penny stocks.
5,000 or 5,000, 8,000 in. I'll never forget it. I put I think it was 8,000 into Redbox, and in a couple of days, that 8,000 turned into 16,000, and I was like,
should have sold.
I was like,
Ryan Micklin said, "One-shot gambler, two-shot gambler."
Ooh, I'll have to make that our theme song for the next episode. But I mean, all of the feels were there. The dopamine, the self-satisfaction, thinking
doubling your money in a day, of course.
I was like, I'm gonna keep it in here. It's gonna keep happening.
To the moon.
Then it went away. Then I lost, basically all. I lost all my money, and I had was I like, oh man, oh man, I'll maybe this isn't for me. No, then I had to revenge gamble. I was like, oh man, I lost this money. Now I have to make
it back.
I'm not gonna leave down. So I took a bunch of other high risk investment opportunities.
And then you learn to go lower risk.
Some hit, some didn't hit. But basically, it took me stepping out of stepping out of myself, identifying the behaviors that I was exhibiting, and making a change. Because if I continued to do that stuff, I was just going to go nowhere. Instead, I started to go with Microsoft, go with Apple, go with companies that aren't penny stocks, because you're not going to make any money doing that sort of high risk investing. Do you want to talk about is University a scam. We watched we watched a good episode of Last week tonight.
Last week
with
John Oliver.
And it was all about university.
I mean, a lot of it was about deep sea diving or
Well,
mining,
we watched two different
but
episodes. One was about college loans, and one was about.
Time to put the kids to bed. Great show, guys. You managed to still make it super engaging, even with only 2 people. And yes, college is largely a scam.
Thanks.
All right. Hey, good night, Bubsy. It was
Bubs.
great to have you, and we'll have to sail on the high seas really soon. So please let me know anytime you want to sail. I'll sail with you. I'm a pirate legend.
Come sail away.
Is university a scam?
Russell said, for sure.
Well, yeah. That's just, it's just such a loaded question because what do you mean by is it a scam? Are you saying it's a scam on it how it's overpriced, or are you saying we don't need college in general? Because I think college is still a useful thing. I think it's well overpriced.
Is it a loaded system designed to enslave and indebt the American citizen?
Well, that would be basically saying it's overpriced. So yes.
Okay. So it is a scam. I agree.
In that way, yes.
I think it's a gamble, like onto this thing. Like,
Kinda, yeah.
can people make?
But you're gambling on yourself,
It's like the worst investment. Like, I'm sorry, all of you. Maybe this isn't good advice.
That's
this is a hill I'm willing
completely
to die on.
not.
Would I rather invest in a $3 trillion tech company in Palo Alto, California, that has been around for 30 years, that generates tons of stuff, or would I rather invest in me? I'd rather invest in that $3 trillion company.
Would you rather invest in yourself, or would you rather invest in J.K. Dobbins getting a touchdown on Sunday night for the first touchdown of the game?
That's a huge difference. Yes.
Yeah, so is the fucking Palo Alto thing. You're doing an extreme. I'm doing one back.
Okay, so I'm a better.
It's not the worst investment like you said it was.
All right, I'm a better investment investing my money
And
into myself.
You're
First touchdown scorer, but
and you're investing in yourself means you have more control on it instead of relying on J.K. Dobbins over there.
Don't you think you're also more blinded to bias?
Well, sure, but this brings us back to the law of attractions, right? If you put in those positive attitudes and think you can be a better person, think you can learn more and invest in yourself by doing so, that's how you can achieve more and make more money or whatever it is you want to do. Get more connections. That's a big part of college as well.
Yeah, and I do believe that.
Hey, you went to Bucks, go Centurions.
Yeah.
You had Radio Bucks. You have experience in specifically this from that.
Yo, but none of my radio Bucks, not a single alumni from Bucks County Community College is in this audience.
Okay, well, I mean, Bucks County. You do have an alumni from Bucks County Community College sitting right next to you.
Okay, wait, what?
Me,
Did you?
Said, you'll go nowhere in life if you don't step out of your comfort zone.
Oh, well, that's for sure.
What if you have no comfort zone?
Is that good?
Is that good? Like you had to question
really
yourself.
If you have no comfort zones, you're never content.
Yeah.
You're always
Well, see, that's where it could be good. If you're never content, that's not necessarily good. But let's go back to what we were saying. What was it? About Bucks?
Yeah. Wait. What degree did you get from there?
Associates in business administration.
Okay.
Because they didn't have they didn't have accounting directly. And then I went to Temple.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to say all college is a scam. Mm-hmm. I think that you can get a lot of value out of college.
It's just the value doesn't always outweigh the price.
Yeah, for sure. And all right, if you have the money to just shell out,
Or
say,
if your family, like your
yeah,
parents
like
do, for example. Yeah.
I mean, if you can shell out, I don't know, $80,000 on an education, pay it in cash, and you're able to take college seriously and get a degree, I think it's great.
Exactly.
But if you have to go into $80,000 worth of debt, which over
plus
a
the
lifetime
interest
is going to become probably like $160,000 worth of debt, it's going to be like a ball and chain around your ankle for the rest of your life until you're in your 70s when you're maybe able to like pay it off. Like,
well, the other problem is kind of people not being financially advised on their loans. Like people just make the payment plan. They just pay like every month the exact amount that they're owing them, which is how you're kind of just in this scam of never being able to get out of it because you're still going to be accruing that interest over and over again. If you start paying bigger amount, like I see it at work all the time where there are people that are like way ahead on their car payments and they're almost like done paying their card off. Meanwhile, on the opposite ends, I'll see people just making the minimum or not even being able to do that, and they're just getting delinquent and they just have this huge debt that's continuously accruing and they're just getting more interest. You got to learn that you can't just pay the minimum each time. You do need to be able to pay over to actually get yourself out of debt. I know it's obvious, like it's easier to say that than actually do it because everyone's circumstances are different. You might not be able to afford that, but if you can, that is what you should be doing.
yeah. Kelly says that our chat is delayed and that Gladys is slow.
It kinda
you're gonna
is.
have to like bear with Gladys. She's a golden girl. She's in her.
She sounds very young.
She's in her twilight years.
Well, the one that speaks for Kelly does sound like she's older. I love that one actually. She sounds sweet.
All right, I have this topic. I don't know, like right now is probably not a good time to discuss it, but I want to see what your opinion is on it.
I have no opinion.
So you know the man versus bear debate, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard it. So I came up with,
Oh boy.
you know how there was the girl.
He came up with it. Now we know his.
You know how there was like the girl in California that was raised by like wolves. Did you ever hear this story?
Not really. I've heard some folk tales about things like
no,
that,
like,
but
it's true.
I'm
Like,
sure there. I'm
by
sure. There's
wolves.
how long ago is this? It's like 20 years ago or
Yeah,
something.
like
Okay,
long
then
time
I've probably heard of this.
Okay, well, 55% of filicide is committed by women, killing one's own child. 72% of infanticide is committed by women, killing a child 1 year or under. 100% of neonaticide is committed by women, killing a child within its first.
It's neonatal.
Neonaticide is committed by women, killing a child within the first 24 hours of its life. This is global statistics, not American statistics.
First 24 hours of its life.
Yeah.
How is that? How like? Is it never a male doctor doing it or anything? Like, what is?
I don't think it's.
I don't even know what they're saying there.
I don't think it's often done by a doctor.
How often does that even happen?
It's probably extremely rare. But either way, so this is really like I don't even necessarily agree with.
So what? The younger they are, the more the women kill them.
It seems that way, yeah. But
I feel like there's more context needed here.
As a response to the man versus bear debate, this is my women versus wolves debate.
My god!
Would you rather a woman babysit your child or a pack of ravenous wolves?
Wait, so what side are you taking? Are you taking the wolves? Because then that means you're agreeing with the bear side.
I'm just kind of all right, because I think the man versus bear debate was created to test the delusion of women. I don't.
It was
think
created by women
maybe
to test, like, to talk
to-
about
to
men.
show how
It-
fucking delusional they
Well,
are.
it's to
Because any woman who thinks that a fucking bear would not
I'm pretty sure you're getting the origin wrong.
destroy her, like, is delusional.
Okay, so why wouldn't the same be for wolves?
Yes,
Because you're
like,
bringing
I
up the
don't
one
act-
case that the wolves raised the girl.
I don't-
You're making it sound like, oh, it's great to be raised by wolves.
but like it is the same level of delulu
How?
of thinking that a pack of wolves is better at raising a child than a woman, even if she is like. Who was that? Who was the girl?
Oh,
that,
from Florida or something. Arias. Jody Arias? Or is that a different one?
no, I'm thinking of the girl that was like googling how to kill your child. Like,
Oh,
you
I don't
what
know.
I'm talking
I
about?
was thinking of the one that actually did.
Said, with my age, my parents never went to college, so they had no clue of FAFSA or the debt that college would get you in.
All right, Kelly. I want to know when you just texted that. You said, it's been there for 10 minutes, but he hasn't been read yet. I said that 10 minutes ago.
Oh, Kaylee Anthony. That's who I was thinking of.
Okay.
You remember her?
Just commented again. Okay.
Or the mother of Kaylee Anthony.
I don't think it's that delayed.
Casey Anthony.
Yeah, Casey Anthony.
Yeah.
I mean, I would rather Casey Anthony babysit my child
No,
Then-
not Casey Anthony.
than a pack of ravenous wolves.
I don't know if I'd say that. Like, if you're saying an average woman, sure, not Casey Anthony. She literally killed a kid. Like, what?
I just think it's delusional to think that.
Said, Dan thinks I'm sweet OMG.
That was very delayed. I said that forever ago.
Yeah, but I think she just texted it. I mean, I think she texted that 30 seconds ago.
Okay.
All right. Can we talk about? I think we've talked about this before. Would you rather be the king and be treated like a peasant by your woman, or be the peasant and treated like a king by your woman?
Peasantry like a king.
Yeah, that's the only one that makes sense. But I believe that it is a gendered discussion. I believe that we can't figure this out because we haven't had a ton of women on this show.
You would also need like data and statistics to back it up. You can't just take anecdotes.
We've had one woman on the show, period.
Pretty much.
So we're averaging a third of a woman every episode.
Third of a woman.
That's the only data that I have about but I think that most women would choose to be the king's mistress versus being the peasant's wife.
But that's like a different question also.
Is it though? Is it really all that much different?
Yes, because you're asking us how we'd want to be treated, while you're asking how much they would want money. You're not like it's a difference in phrasing.
But the king's mistress is treated like the king's mistress, and the peasant's wife is treated like the peasant's wife.
How do we know what they're treated? A king's mistress can still be treated very well.
Yeah, for sure.
Monetarily or
supposed to be treated
very poorly. Yes. So what's the only difference there basically is the money. So why wouldn't they take what is more money if the other variable is just the same?
Like the exclusivity is also of considerable value, being the man's only.
A man can still cheat as a peasant.
All right. Well, the implication of this hypothetical is that
that you're locked down because you're married.
Is cheating on his mistress, but the peasant is not cheating on his wife. And we get into all the limited optionality that a peasant would have in the dating market versus the high optionality that a king
High
would
optionality.
have. But what do you think about push presents?
Again, we went through this, but I just think it's not something that's owed, but it's something you should want to like. You should want to give them something nice. It doesn't have to be monetarily expensive, like we stated last time. Just like a spa gift card kind of thing, like just something, or just you doing it yourself for her might even be better because it's actually you putting your hands to work on her and like making her feel better.
Man, I suck at finding these.
Unless you just suck at massages and stuff, then get her a spa gift card.
Give it a spot. Either way. I think when it comes to a $100 or less push present, $200 or less push present, I think that's totally. I mean, this is. That's my push present.
What?
Helicopter my fucking wiener on your face.
What does that mean? What?
It's just funny to visualize. It's a great food. Did we ever talk about how much you should spend on an engagement ring?
Yeah, kind of. It was like 3 months is what or 4 months, 3 months or 4 months salary is generally what's
Is
considered.
that what you ought to spend though?
No, I think honestly they should pick it out what they want, and yeah, I mean like that's pretty much it. Like I don't really have much of an opinion on it.
I don't think you should let them pick it out.
Yeah, I know.
That's like you're setting yourself up for failure.
But if you take price tags away and they look at it, they're probably not actually going to be taking the most expensive one, because the most expensive one is just what what they mark it up to be, which in general is like diamonds, which diamonds aren't actually as rare as they're made out to be. There's other gemstones that are more rare but cost less. Plus, cubic zirconium shines just as bright.
Does it? I'm
yeah.
no expert on stones and stuff like that, so I don't know. But like, what? I've definitely heard this. Maybe it was just in movies, but I'm pretty sure I've seen this on like the internet of women when they are proposed to and they say like, "I'm not turning down you. I'm turning down the ring." Like, do you think?
What does that mean?
Is that a red flag?
Yeah, that sounds ridiculous. What do you mean you're turning down the ring? You don't like the ring?
August and I will come on the show if we get paid at least 50%.
We're not even getting paid.
Right, you can.
You take 50% as $0.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You tried to poison me too, because you're a degenerate piece of filth and deserve to die. All right. I want an engagement chain. That's what I want.
Why do we need either?
I don't know. I didn't make the rules.
Well, the rule isn't to have a chain either. You're trying to change the rule.
Like, if a woman wants to propose to me, or if a woman wants me to propose to her, if a woman wants to propose to me,
Even better.
I'm interested.
I'm interested. Yo, that's an actual topic we could talk about. Why should it always be the man that proposes?
I don't think it should be.
Why?
I mean, why don't I think it should be?
Mm-hmm.
Is your question? All right, let's get into this topic.
Mm-hmm.
Women are the gatekeepers on sex.
Men are the gatekeepers on money
and relationships. So it would stand to reason that a man. All right, well, see, this would change that dynamic. This would make women the gatekeepers on relationships. But
what do you mean the gatekeeper on a relationship?
Like a man ought to say, "Will you be in a relationship with me?" A man ought to say, "Will you be in a marriage with me?" Just like a woman ought to say, "Will you have sex with me?" You know, like, I think it will decide when sex is had, and women don't decide when.
Is it biologically driven or is it societally driven?
I think that biology is upstream of society. So everything that happens societally happens because
Biology? I
programmed.
completely disagree. What?
Like
Society and biology disagree on a lot of aspects.
like
We're not
such as what?
monogamy. We're not biologically meant to be monogamous, but we are societally for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, even biologically, even even polygamous societies are like historically more doomed for
I'm not
negative
saying
outcomes.
it's good, but I'm saying it's biological. It doesn't matter how good the society is. You're talking about the societal aspect of it. The biological aspect is we're built to spread our seed. Women are built to have a kid and take care of the kid in biology. Societally, we have it completely different because it works out better when we work together rather than just trying to spread our seed.
I think that due to the this is probably a hot button topic, but due to the biological makeup of men, we have the ability to want more sex. We have the ability to spread our sexual attention around a little bit more. We are not as likely to be. I don't know how I want to phrase it, but we're more likely to be able to have like meaningless sex, which is in itself is probably not a very good concept. But we're biologically wired so that we can have like a lot of sex, a lot of different sex, a lot of novel sex, and we're not going to we're not going to deteriorate mentally and physically from having sex.
That's because we don't carry the child.
Yeah, like and all right, this is actually like biological. There are some species in the world where the men carry the child.
Yeah, like
Those
seahorses.
species,
But
yeah, those
how does that
species-
relate to humans?
Those species are more in like male seahorses are the selective sex.
Mhm.
They're the gatekeepers on sex.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think women should be the gatekeepers on
I do
sex
too.
by that
I'm not
aspect.
saying they ought not to be.
Why do you say an ought?
It's not.
And ought not.
Ought not. I think women should be the gatekeepers on sex.
They carry a much bigger burden from
Yeah.
sex, so they should be more selective. They should be
Yeah.
the gatekeeper.
Yeah, just like any species, whether it's a seahorse or a woman, if you're carrying the baby, you have more skin in the game, more.
Are you
potential
using
for-
Russell's term now?
You have more potential for detriment from as a consequence of the sex that you're having. So I think you need to gatekeep it and treat your sex powers like a, like with respect. But all that aside, I just want an engagement chain. I don't think that's too much to ask.
Kelly asked me, what is the definition of marriage and why is that so important?
And why is it so? What does it mean to be one? To
be one.
To be in a marriage?
I guess. I mean, marriage is kind of defined by the law, really, of what is given to you. The importance being that you have certain says, like certain things with your part, like there's tax benefits, there's having decisions for your partner if they are like ever debilitated in like if the worst comes where they're like in a coma or something, you have the say whether to keep them alive or not. Like you
Who's
have
calling you?
this is scam likely.
Who the fuck is this scam likely motherfucker?
It's like Kelly's just blowing me up and then calling me.
I think
So Suter 2013 said, legally binding contract between two people that possessions are shared and next of kin.
I mean, this is maybe an old-fashioned viewpoint.
Said, let's all go see
Didn't we
Book
watch
of
that?
Mormon.
I've never seen Book of Mormon. Maybe this is an old-fashioned view to have, but I think that a marriage is a union under God between a man and a woman. Is that bigoted in your opinion?
Well, so are you saying it can't be a man and a man or a woman and a woman?
No, I think they can have a civil
Civilly.
union, a domestic partnership, whatever they want to call it. But I don't
So
think
marriage
they
should
have-
be defined by the church?
Yeah.
Why?
By the church or the synagogue or the mosque.
So
or,
in a civil union, are you able to have all the same rights as a marriage?
I think we ought to.
Aughts?
I think we ought.
The
to,
19 aughts.
We ought to.
What do you want to bring us back to?
Biblical definition is between man and woman.
And there's supposed to be a separation of church and state. I don't think with marriage, given the.
So you're saying it should just be a different title, but the same rights.
Sure, yeah, but you're not married. You're unionized or whatever you want to call it.
So separate but equal.
Sure, yeah,
Oh my god.
This is probably another thing that I'm going to get some flack for. Also, I think you'll be more rational about it.
No, I'm a radical.
I think-
Said, biologically wired BC society has misled us for how long? Who is correct?
Biology is correct. Biology is correct. The
Correct on what?
gender or the sex. We won't get.
What
into
are we
gender
correct
politics.
about?
Biology is correct.
About
Society-
what are you just saying in general? Like, what do you
Society
mean?
follows biology.
It doesn't follow biology.
No, the seahorses, the male seahorses, the women humans, whoever carries the child is
I'd say for the most
biologically wired.
part, society and biology kind of align,
Mhm.
but there are still definitely different aspects in society versus biology.
Hey, Kelly and George, thank you guys for giving us a lot to reflect on. I think I'm gonna make some enemies here.
You probably already have.
I'm willing to die on these hills. I think every
you can die on every
I
hill.
think every marriage, every civil union, every domestic partnership ought to begin with a
You're just
prenup.
doing it on purpose now.
No, I actually am not. But ought to begin with a prenup, a postnup, and a paternity test for each child had.
What's a
With it.
postnup?
It's a prenup that happens after you're married. So a prenup protects all of your assets
Before you get
before
married.
you get married. A postnup, I guess,
Protects it when you're like.
after you're married. So,
How does it protect it? You're shared after you're married.
All right, because this is something that a lot of people don't know.
I don't know it. I've never heard of a postnup.
When you get married, every single person who's ever been married in America, they sign a prenup and a postnup. They just are not they're not doing the agreement and the signature of it. The state is just determining what their prenuptial agreement and postnuptial agreement are. So in California, it might be different from what it is in Pennsylvania, but there are still laws that are whimsical and changing in every state. They're different in every state, but there is still, agreements that are made about your marriage. Go ahead and fact check.
Why?
Make sure I'm
I'm,
not citing
I'm looking up what a
misinformation.
postnup is. I'm not like I don't know what you mean because you're saying that every time everyone who's getting married is automatically signing a prenup and a postnup.
Yes.
So then how is it that
You can define the terms of your prenup.
But
if you
how
choose
are
to.
they defining it for you? They're saying like
Let's say I'm not like an expert in this, but let's say in California, if you should happen to get divorced,
Suitor 2013 said, "Doesn't a prenup assume that you will get divorced?"
No.
See, I don't think so.
It's
And
protection against divorce. It's not assuming. It's like
I think it's even more than that. Like I think a non-prenuptial agreement. Well, first of all, like we said, the state has prenuptial and postnuptial conditions placed on every marriage, and I think you're incentivizing. I think you're incentivizing your marriage to fail. You know, like if you're giving your spouse potentially the
and so
incentive
I think
to
a
break it off.
postnup is just it's kind of the same as a prenup, but you're just doing it after marriage.
Yeah,
So you're still like defining what it is.
yeah, and
It's not like you're doing a prenup and a postnup. You're just doing one. It just depends on at what time you do it.
sure. I mean, is it romantic to sign a prenup before you propose? No, probably not. But I think it is. I mean,
And
it could be
with the divorce rate at 50% or higher, why should we not get a prenup or a postnup?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And wouldn't you rather your spouse have zero reason to want to divorce you? Like, I know I would. And there are some people who are.
And if it's true love and you think it's gonna be forever, you should want to sign that. You should want to be.
That's what I'm saying.
Like committing. It's like signing your marriage contract, and like it's like saying you actually want to be with them forever. You're like not signing a prenup or a postnup. You're just going in blind. It's like saying, "Oh, I don't really care about it this much. I'm non-committal."
Yeah, I mean, we could get into.
I don't think you're burning bridges with this one. I don't think like a lot of people are going to disagree with you on this. I agree.
Well, I think some people
said, "Sorry, not sorry."
About what?
But I think that there ought to be as little incentive to get divorced as there can possibly be. And this might be barbaric,
Oh
but
God.
I want to make.
I might not agree with this.
I want to make like a blood ooth with my wife.
What are you gonna cut your?
Yeah, cut
your hand and like shake
on
hand
it and
and then like get it like.
I'd rather like death beget my entire bloodline.
What if you just die from shaking hands by shaking blood together like that?
We're not gonna die. Like
sharing needles, it's like doing that.
I mean,
You can give yourself a disease doing that.
Like my spouse does not have any bloodborne illnesses that I have to worry about. Otherwise, there's some.
What if they have malaria?
Well,
mosquitoes.
Like married is the least of our problems.
Yeah, but like they don't know it ahead of time. Maybe.
But, I mean, yo, we're getting married. That's our malaria.
That's our malaria.
We're getting malaria.
What the
Suitor 2013 said, "If prenuptial should be required, so should premarital counseling."
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
I would agree.
I'm also not saying it should be required, but
I don't know.
like both it shouldn't be like a required thing because like you. I mean, I don't know. I like because I'm not about like mandating it onto people, but I think it is the best option.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm about options, and I think that is what we should be doing. We should have premarital counseling. We should have prenuptial agreements.
All right, so this is where I was really going.
Oh God!
33% of paternity tests come back with the results as not the father. Now, I know what you're going to say. Given if there is a paternity test being given, there's probably a little bit of mistrust and maybe some reason for some mistrust. Like people who know beyond the shadow of a doubt that their spouse is not cheating on them or not going out and clamoring for paternity tests. But do you think we should mandate paternity tests.
I just said I don't even want mandates. What the
But like, shouldn't we be trying to get the rate of false paternity down? And wouldn't
How would we be doing that by mandating paternity
if
tests?
you were a woman and you were
I feel like that would
married-
just mean there's more percentages that it's gonna.
If you were a woman and you were married to a man and you knew that you were going to have to take a paternity test upon the birth of your child, wouldn't that be a big incentive not to cheat on him and get impregnated by another man?
What happens if you do?
You're probably going to get abandoned. He's probably going to leave you. You're probably going to be a single mom with like a
Okay,
bastard
but
child.
don't women generally get more money when they're divorced than the man does? So
Well,
Are you gonna be changing?
prenup because he's smart? And, the state determines
Sure.
that women who
well, then you'd have to
commit
mandate
paternity
both,
fraud.
wouldn't you? Are you trying to mandate both?
I kind of like I'm not. I'm not for government influence in
Until it comes to fucking
but
baby.
With prenup, post-ups, and paternity tests, I think that maybe not a governmental mandate, but I think it should become societally accepted, and
Sure.
we should break the stigma of these three practices because I think it will.
I didn't even really think there was a stigma on. Like, I guess there is.
Against
but...
prenups?
No, the other one.
Paternity
test? I don't really think about paternity tests that often.
I mean, nobody does, but there's still a 33% chance that you're raising another man's child.
Well,
I mean, and that is probably a misleading
but
statistic.
yeah,
like
because you're talking about married ones. I'm thinking most of those that
Are
end up are
Maury.
are
Maury.
before. Yeah, it's all Maury. But I feel like most of that is definitely before marriage.
Yeah, and yeah, a lot of this new generation, like children being had out of wedlock, is on the rise as well. Like every metric that leads to a coherent nuclear family is like kind of degrading, which kind of brings me to my next point. Do you believe in what?
Camille said, the only thing burnt here, Dan, is that kitchen in the court.
What? Oh, the pickleball court.
What the hell is even that?
Well, we gotta explain pickleball to people then. We don't have to.
Do you believe the West is degrading? And if so, what is causing the degradation of Western culture?
I feel like you need to be more specific on these questions, but you have asked this already. And I would say, yeah, it's degrading in the way where we're like a culture that's just like, let's just have casual sex all the time. Let's have Tinder and whatever app you can think of to just have easy sex with whoever you want, but no committing. Like, I feel like our society right now just doesn't really care about getting married and like having kids or whatever it is. They just want to have the what's it called? Instant gratification. That like they
the wedding of this
just
spectacular extravaganza.
I was talking that too. I guess I was just talking about sex being instant because it's even more instant.
Well, yeah.
But there's like that, and then in just every aspect, your instant gratification of getting food and drinks delivered to you by DoorDash, like just having everything just as easy as possible.
Having your 10-leg parlay and making a bunch of money so that you don't have to work. I mean, basically having your
get rich quick.
all your dreams and aspirations finding you within your comfort zone and not having to go out and work
pursue them.
Yeah. Well, if I didn't make any enemies with the last one, this one for sure.
Why do you keep trying to go further? Why are you digging your grave?
Controversial because we need to spread.
Why are
the
you
vibe,
digging your grave and jumping in it and like putting the dirt on top of yourself? Skeet, skeet.
All right, so
So silly the way he says that.
it's great.
Skeet, skeet.
All right, so
21-year-old woman and a 21-year-old man. Who has the higher sexual marketplace value? A woman. 25-year-old man and a 25-year-old woman. Who has the higher sexual marketplace value? A woman. A 30-year-old woman and a 30-year-old man. Who has the higher sexual marketplace value? A man. A 35-year-old man and a 35-year-old woman. Who has the higher sexual marketplace value? A man. And as I keep going in 5-year increments, will women ever overtake a man's sexual marketplace value? Not in the long term. No, but they grow at a steady rate or will they get exponentially larger? Meaning a 50-year-old man and a 50-year-old woman.
Said, more child support.
more child support. All right. I want to talk about the fertility window and the fertility wall because I think I don't want to sound like a misogynist. I don't want to blame the degradation.
That's when you know
Western-
something hot's coming.
I don't want to blame the degradation of Western culture on women exclusively, and I don't think that it's exclusively women. But let me just paint a picture. It's very dystopian, but it's kind of like where we're headed. Modern women, they spend their peak years of fertility, getting the bag, climbing the corporate ladder, achieving college degrees that have a 48% chance of being necessary for their career field, racking up 6 figures of student loans and consumer debt, traveling abroad, going to concerts and festivals, protesting insignificant shit like free the nipple and the wage gap. I know. Dating around, building a roster of fuckboys, friends with benefits, and turning their vaginas into petri dishes of various semen samples. Aborting their children, altering their endocrinology with hormonal birth control. By the time modern women reach their epiphany phase at age 30 to 33, they're often alpha widowed, disqualified from achieving the commitment of a high-value man. View the man who will commit to them as settling for a beta, treat him with contempt and disrespect because of that fact. What is consequently occurring is that the divorce rate's increasing. Women initiate divorce 70% of the time, 80% of the time if they have a college degree. The number of children being born out of wedlock is increasing. Single mother households are becoming a majority. Studies show that single mother households expose a child to significantly higher rates of poverty, drug abuse, depression, anxiety, learning disability, and homelessness, while comparatively single father households reflect virtually identical statistical outcomes to two-parent households. So what's the societal consequence? Consequence is women skip over their peak fertility window, engaging in general debauchery and paying zero attention to marriageable men. Maybe they're freezing their eggs and electing to expose themselves to high-risk pregnancies, which begin at age 35. Let's extend these ramifications of such mating practices a few generations, shall we? 80% of the youth is already unfit for military duty, whether it be because of poor vision, poor mental health, poor cognitive function, or poor physical fitness. The very fabric of our democracy and liberty is backed by having young knees and backs stationed everywhere across the globe. If our military becomes fat and stupid, if our population becomes fat and stupid, we become vulnerable to invasion by other nations that maybe don't have such a stupid, obese, and lazy population. Have you seen Chinese elementary schools? Their children don't have TikTok brain. Their children
Have you
aren't-
seen them?
Yes. They're like-
You have not seen
They're
them.
dancing in unison. Like they're cohesive.
You don't know
and
anything about the Chinese education system.
But all right, maybe this is an assumption.
Yes.
I assume their children don't have TikTok brain. Their children aren't experiencing.
TikTok's from China. What do you mean?
But they don't allow their kids. Like it's a psyop. All right, it's a psyop. What I fear is generational stupidity and generational fatness in the American empire crumbling. Pure idiocracy meets Wall-E. I submit we can sidestep this by women prioritizing building a family in their mid-20s instead of their mid-30s. Young adults prioritize their physical health, social calibration, financial literacy, work ethic, ability to deny instant gratification, and acquisition of hard and soft skills. Men operate with extreme prejudice when choosing a wife. Not settling for some old maid who's been run through, whose endocrinology is not tainted from a decade or two of hormonal birth control. Not accepting some strong, independent woman who don't need no man. Not trying to turn a hoe into a housewife. Remember, wives are found, not turned. Sticking with their decision until death do them part. Once a young couple gets married, they obey what God has commanded them to do, be fruitful and multiply. And once they secure what is the bedrock of society, the nuclear family, then go get the bag. Then go climb the corporate ladder. Then go take vacations to Ibiza and Panama City and Venice and Santorini. Go enjoy your life with your life partner and enjoy the beautiful, healthy family that you have created. I think hedonism has bred a generation that seeks instant gratification and front loads 10 years of satisfaction instead of backloading 60 years. What do you think?
Did you just write an essay for this topic? What did you do?
Well, what do you think? Never mind what I did. What do you think?
I don't know. You said a whole lot of stuff there. Where am I supposed to unpack?
Do you think that I am going to get canceled? Not that I have any status to be canceled, but do you think if I
Yeah,
say
you're already canceled.
do you think if I clip that, it's gonna get
I mean, you could go ahead. I don't think you're gonna get canceled for it. You might get some views. You'll probably get some Menonists.
I'm just trying to be controversial. So
I know. That's how you make money.
Yeah, I'm trying to sell out.
So, I don't hate all the points. I agree with some. I agree with trying to get the nuclear family back. I don't really care about kids myself. You can be just a man and a wife, or a man and a man, or a wife and a wife, or whatever you want to be.
So 2013.
Well, that's what
said,
says.
you definitely won't be invited to the show. The View.
The
View. No. Whoopi Goldberg will never approve of me. Oh no.
Does that
Rosie
even exist still?
The View, actually, I believe the View
Yeah,
just got purchased by Elon Musk, and he's canceling it.
They purchased it specifically to cancel it. Oh my
I've
god,
heard that. It might
that's
not
funny.
Be true,
but I agree with trying to better your situation with your partner, and then working on your for women. That's kind of what the goal should be, more so is if you want to have kids, then you should definitely be wanting to do it in your mid-20s over your mid-30s, and then working on your career later, which your spouse can then support. But if that's not your goal, and that's not your goal, which you can decide that at an earlier age. I know there's always so much pressure saying that, oh, you'll change your mind later. Not everyone does. And I don't feel like that's a stigma we should be putting out there, that you have to change your mind and have a kid in your 20s if you actually just don't want a kid.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with people having the agency to make their own decisions. I just think that there is a lot of societal program which we know I don't think is as viable as biological programming. And there's a lot of societal programming telling women.
So you're saying societal programming follows biological programming?
Yeah, maybe I guess that's a good point. Maybe you have debunked my belief. But yeah, I think there's a lot of societal programming that's telling young people to, get money and have a bunch of meaningless sex and not start a family, or kind of just more telling people that they have all the time in the world to start a family.
I think it comes from both ends, because there are parents, specifically parents want grandchildren a lot. Parents bring it onto their children saying you'll want kids later. That's a part of society as well, where we're telling our kids to have kids even if they don't want to.
Even I think even most parents,
and to find a spouse as soon as possible because they want that.
I can only speak from my experience, but I think even most parents are enforcing this fertility window. I know my parents were not encouraging me to start a family at 18. They knew I was not ready to have kids at 18. But now that I'm 33, I am getting a little bit of pressure from my mom to, give her grandbabies and stuff like that. So I think
You didn't get that in your 20s? I got it in my 20s.
I definitely did not. No, but I was.
Leon said, blessings in disguises Jurassic view.
No, I mean, I definitely was not getting. I mean, I was a different person in my 20s. I was anyone could see that I was
That you
not
were-
ready to.
Yeah, that's
you
fair.
Know, provision life in my.
I mean, I wouldn't say I was really at my best in a good portion of my 20s either, at least like my early 20s. Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't think as a society we should just be pushing our views onto other people when they can just make their choices. Like if they want a family or if they don't want a family. If they want a family, they should do it sooner because of the fertility window actually being a biological thing that you do need to worry about.
Yeah.
But if that's not your priority, that's not something you really want, it's fine to just go for your other goals.
Like, I mean, I think like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro are what, like 80 right now, at least.
Probably in their 70s.
I think they're both. If they are in their 70s, it's like 79, and they both just had a newborn child. I think that is.
Well, the fertility is for women more than it is for men.
but like that they have like a mortality. Like we all have a mortality window. And
sure, but
I think
what
it's
are you saying? I need my kids at 80.
No, like I think that it's reprehensible for a man to have a child at 80.
Why?
Because if you
He's
live,
Al Pacino's 84.
Oh, 84. He just had a newborn.
Jeez.
And how old?
Oh, I guess you're saying because they're probably not going to be alive much longer.
They're not going to like maybe
Robert De Niro's 81.
Yeah, if they live to be 100, their child's going to be a 20-year-old losing their father, which it happens.
Yeah.
Like it's not unavoidable.
Well, you're teaching them young.
I don't know. I think there's like a golden window.
Yeah, I mean,
you can have.
Obviously, there's an ideal, the golden window, sure, but I don't think there's necessarily a cutoff point where you have to no longer do it. I would suggest not doing it in your 80s, but I don't think you have to not do it. Like Jimmy Carter just turned 100. Like they could still be alive when their kid's 20.
Maybe I want to be that.
They won't be very functional, and they won't be able to like have catch with their kid or something.
Like that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Even I feel like when my son is 33, I'll be 66, and that's if I have a child tonight, which I'm probably not gonna.
Let's go call someone.
Unless I go like call an escort and
oh my God.
her, but it's highly unlikely that I'm gonna have a child tomorrow.
Wait, so what happens when they're 33 and you're 66? Like you're not gonna be having catch with them anymore. Like what are you trying to do?
I would like to, you know.
No, you would have catch with them when they're like a kid.
How many Cokes did
Ryan's
you guys drink?
We had at least
1.5.
6.
Well, I only had 2. We're gonna be fat.
Yeah, like I'm very proud of my my investment portfolio, but like I can't even imagine how proud I might be. You know,
here's the point I want to bring up.
Uh-huh.
What about adoption? Adoption, instead of raising a kid at start, you can raise them at 9 years old when you're already like 40 or something. So you're still kind of in your prime when they're already at that age.
I think my pastor George I think he has adopted at least one child. George, if you would weigh in and tell us about the joys of adoption. Yeah, I mean, I think it's great.
I think it's better.
Like, yeah, like I know one family that we used to vacation with. They had 4 biological children and 1 adopted child right in the middle, and it was like I don't know, like kind of nice to like.
Do you know statistics on adopted families and like adopted children for families?
I do not.
I don't either, but I would think they're probably better because there's like kind of some hoops to jump through to be able to adopt. You have to have like a certain income and like.
Suitor 2013 said, "We got 4. Adoption is good and a benefit to society, but comes with a lot of unknown challenges."
Definitely.
Yeah.
But with adoption, I forgot what my point was, where I was going at that time. What was I saying?
I think you were saying that it's good. Like,
Yeah.
Do you think the families that adopt stay together? Is that what you were getting at?
Well, that wasn't what I was getting at, but probably because it's something that likely they both want.
Yeah.
And it's probably also could be they aren't able to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Is usually the case for
probably
adoption.
Like a symptom of a less impulsive decision making couple, like that are trying to have a kid because
no one's impulsively saying let's adopt a child.
I want to impulsively adopt a child. I'm actually going to. We should become
500,000 kids are waiting for forever homes. Many kids will never graduate school or further college. Many girls will be pregnant out of wedlock.
Yeah.
And so with adoption, it's the main difference is you're choosing to have a kid rather than in a decent amount of cases where the kid's actually unwanted when like you're having like premarital sex or just sex when you're not ready to raise a family, and then it was like an accident and you didn't actually want to have a kid yet, but you do because you want to carry them to term and raise them. It's adoption, you're literally choosing, and it's just kind of better for everyone. Like it's better for the kid, it's better for the parents, it's better to keep the family together when everyone wants everyone.
All right, so I want to bring up like one more topic, and then I think we're gonna wrap it up. This might be another hot button topic.
What is it not for you?
What age ought a person to be able to transition their gender?
I don't know. That's like it's a tough question.
At 6?
I don't know.
At 5?
Why are you lowering it?
Well, when will you know? Like, what age is too young? Let's start there. Is 2 too young?
I don't know what's too young, but also like
it's too young.
You could say 18 is too young because the brain's not fully developed at 25, right?
So is 25 too young?
No.
Is 24 too young?
It's hard to set a line on it. It's like.
But I think
18
or never. I'm just gonna stick with 18.
Okay. Would you be in favor of mandate? I know we're not in favor of mandating on this show. Would you be in favor of mandating that no gender transition surgeries can occur before the age of 18?
I guess because it's age of majority. So like there's a lot of things that are already mandated that minors can't do. So I would leave it up to what we already have set.
We have nothing set there, don't we?
Minors,
100%.
Minors need they need parental control and permission for a lot of things, like having like a loan on an account, like having like there's just a lot of specific things that minors can't have without the adult involved. Although I guess that's more for in terms of accounts, like you can kind of have without an adult at 16 for like our credit union. So I'm just like there are definitely certain aspects that you need a parent involved though.
I think it is a I'm not even gonna say that all people who transition their gender are making a mistake, because like that would be bigoted, I think. But I think it has the potential to be a mistake, and I think that only a legal adult should be able to make a mistake. So I'm gonna say, I agree with George. 18 or never, but I don't think you can say never. I do believe that what is it? Is it body dysmorphia or body
Dysmorphia.
Body dysmorphia is when you are like
What?
identifying as not what your body is, or body dysphoria.
I think it's dysphoria. Dysmorphia would be like you want your arm removed.
Okay, yeah. Well, what about you wanting your penis removed?
2013 said
Gender dysphoria. Yeah.
Ryan Micklin said gender dysphoria.
Y'all motherfuckers are listening. They're not chiming in.
Well, now they are.
I need you to chime in hardcore, right now. Make your stand. Die on this hill. What age ought a human being be when they can transition their gender? What is too young to transition your gender? I want to know. Even if it makes you sound bigoted, even if it makes you sound intolerant, even if it makes you sound transphobic, let me know what is an appropriate age to transition your gender. I say 18.
So what's your answer? Yours is 18?
Mine's 18. Because I think that you're an adult at 18. I think you should be able to drink a bottle of Jack at 18. I think you should be able to smoke a pack of cigarettes at 18. You should be able to...
Ryan Micklin said the procedure is actually very risky. 18.
I forgot Rye is transgender. He got the procedure. He has first-hand knowledge of it.
Yeah. It's also risky to have your tube tied, but people do it.
Is it?
It's more risky than a vasectomy, yeah.
Well, I know that, but like a vasectomy is not very.
I mean,
risky
any surgery is
Ryan
risky.
Micklin said not nearly as risky.
Yeah, I mean,
but any surgery is still risky. It's more risky than not having surgery.
Did you ever hear the story of the girl who thought that being a man was so much easier than being a woman, so she got a sex change operation and documented her life as a man for 1 year, and came to the horrible conclusion that being a man is so much harder than being a woman, and it's actually really sad. She deleted herself.
You don't say delete, say unalive.
But minors shouldn't. Oh, for sure. I think we're all in general agreement that minors should not get a sex change operation. But like I was saying,
what about with parental supervision? What if they decide they can have one? Both of them agreeing.
Then they're a fucking
horrible
parent. I mean, I don't know. I guess the truth of the matter is that I have no awareness for what it's like to experience body dysphoria. And maybe it is torturous to be living in the body of a woman and identify as a man or something like that. So maybe if you want to, help your child who's suffering from that type of condition, I suppose it is okay to allow them to. But I think the closer to adulthood that they are when they get that type of an operation, the better.
Sure.
Well, now it's just that killed them. Do you want to share your gratitude with anybody?
I hate everyone. I am thankful to all the viewers out there watching, and Kelly chiming in, the McMullins.
Nah, the audience is a bunch of hoes.
Oh, all right, never mind. No, thank you, audience.
I do love our audience. Do love Ryan, Connor McMullen, Kelly Lyons, Nasty,
Tina.
Tina.
2013 said people are awful.
I mean,
Facts.
We have to love.
We gotta make it better.
Yeah. Kate, thanks for viewing. Peanut, thanks for
Ryan
viewing.
Nicolin said, so the audience are a bunch of hoes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I love the Catch Me Outside girl. But yeah, like our audience is awesome. The ones that are actually here, like actually viewing. If you're here live, like you're.
Yo, I'm here live.
But other people, not so much. Like I don't really.
Wow. All right. You're not gonna count the people that stopped by. It's 3 hours. They got stuff to do.
No. Like everyone who viewed this stream
Okay.
live is a goat.
So even the people you're discrediting the
Fuck
people.
y'all if you didn't listen to it. If you listen to it on like repeat
What?
or
So
listen
if
to a
they're
recap.
busy from 7 to 10 on a Friday night, they're
Alright,
fucking.
yeah, and there needs to be like a. Only there was like a social media platform where you could like share a link and people would like have awareness of your show.
Well,
Like,
there's
these-
various. What do you mean?
Have you? Oh, I'm gonna take this time, audience. Please share us with at least one person who you know is.
Oh,
not...
you sound like the guy who just talked to us downstairs outside the
I don't
demo.
want to sound like that guy.
25.
Kelly says 25. That's when you should be able to get a gender reaffirming.
Is that what she's saying?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think 18 is. I think the measure for when a person is an adult is when they can go strap on a helmet with an M16 and go die in some Middle Eastern shithole. If you can do that, you can do anything that's associated with adulthood. So I say 18.
Okay.
Guys, please critique us, offer constructive feedback or destructive feedback. I don't really give a shit. Our content, our production quality, our sound clips to include, reprimand some of our barbaric opinions we may have, think of guests we should include in the future. How can we better market our product? And I think at this time, we're going to wrap.
See everyone.
All right, once again, we want to humbly thank our listeners and pay them ample gratitude for their patronage. Without you guys...
Said, for a female, they will not consider a hysterectomy. Retire tubes if you're less than 50. Ryan McMillan said.
50? I don't think that's true.
A hysterectomy is different than getting.
They
your
won't
tubes
give you a
tied up.
hysterectomy unless you're 50. Is that what she just said?
I don't know what she's saying.
I don't think
If
that's
you're
true.
less, wait. Oh, I guess for gender reassignment surgery, not
That's-
for.
I wonder. I mean, maybe she's right. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to have such a high quality interactive show. So thank you, audience. If you haven't liked and subscribed, that doesn't pertain to you. Oh. This is a reminder, if you feel you got any value from our show, it takes basically zero extra work to like and subscribe, and it will move us closer to our goal of having hundreds of subscribers, which will bump us up in the algorithm and expose us to more potential listeners. If you guys want to share us with more of your friends, we would be absolutely delighted to extend our outreach. The quickest way for us to broaden our exposure is for you listeners to each share us with one friend. We appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. If you're interested in joining our hashtag IRYOBYOAWMO movement, can you
Hear you, Biamo.
feel free to retweet the hashtag. Also, stay cognizant to treat people with identical worldviews to your own with dignity and respect. Then, if somebody's opinion deviates from yours in any way, our movement advocates for treating them like absolute shit. Remember, a civil level of respect is only earned by people who mirror your beliefs. Hashtag
Hear you, Biamo.
if you live in the greater Philadelphia area and want to guest star on our show, want to go on a date with anybody on the show, or have a sincere desire to move in with us, we are down a roommate and desperately need one. Please reach out to us in an Instagram DM.
I wouldn't say desperately, but
Okay,
we
well,
would like
it
a
would-
roommate.
Said, being a woman is torture in itself, but when you're old enough, where do you do?
What? What do you mean? Where do you do?
I don't know. It sounds like a peanut.
Where do you
Where
do?
do you At Christopher Bulick, that's also my Venmo. All proceeds that the show generates will go towards rent, food, electricity, new computer equipment to improve our general show quality, and Clark's medical expenses.
There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy, like a dollar bill. I open a savings account in your name. That way, 500 years later, it'll be worth billions. Billions. Oh,
I like money.
To all of our faithful audience, we wish you a wonderful weekend and a happy and healthy lifestyle. To all of you, we bid you goodbye. Bye, guys.
So the video stays on, or is it just?
It goes into, I'm gonna end it when the song's over.
Are they able to hear us still?
Yeah, the mics are still on.